Where is the chat? Live chat. Well, it doesn't say anyone's here yet, so I don't know. Let's see, what is this? What does this button do? It's muting. Okay, never mind. There's settings. That would be flipping over, I guess. Oh, hello, KL Sick 981. How come the chat doesn't stay up? I want to see the whole thing. I guess it depends how many people show up or how often the questions pop up. Yeah, okay. This I haven't used it on my phone in forever, and then the chat is just disappearing. I don't know why it's not staying. It just sort of blinks and goes away. Unless I have to change the settings again. Share? No, I don't want to share. Nah, just the usual stuff. Just looking at series and editing things, drawing and writing. Been doing more writing as usual, but I got a few computer problems I need to get resolved, among other things. The only things I've been watching lately have been, let me see, like I caught up to One Piece. I reread all of Sakigake Tokujuku. I reread Kongo Bancho. And from Sim Race. Why is it disappearing? I don't get it. I need to be holding it in order for it to not go away. I'm just absurd. Sim Racer. I don't know what's going on with this thing. And like it just doesn't want to stay up. Sim Race Fights M1000. Hello there. Yeah, I don't know what's going on with this layout. Well, thank you for joining me, even though right now I'm just waiting on people. Apologize that I couldn't do it earlier or more often. I mean, I'm not really liking the way this chat is doing. What is this thing? I'm trying to see if there's like some way to doing this, but it seems to just disappear. I guess I need to check the settings. Nice to see you. I've been watching your channel for a few years now. Ah, thanks. I've been wanting to make more stuff, but it just takes longer than I thought. Right now, I'm just anticipating Kinnikuman, and I'm waiting for more Fists of the North Star to come out, but there's still no trailer. I'm just waiting and waiting, but nothing. There's been a bunch of other things popping out for the 40th anniversary, but none of them are actually about the anime. All we got is one key visual and the confirmation that it's going to have different voice actors. There's no Akira Kamiya. It's licensed by Pony. No, wait, no. Kinnikuman is licensed by Pony Canyon. For Fist of North Star, we just know that it's Warner Brothers Japan. So that still doesn't say whose studio was involved. What is going on with this? So you're a Kenshiro fan, so I'm like, yeah, like Fist of North Star is my favorite anime, and I gotta start doing like videos about that series this year, assuming that the new anime will be the reboot that I've always wanted, which is a real thing to say because like, oh, I've been asking for these things for years, and now it's actually gonna happen. Kinnikuman won't be a reboot, but at least that hey, it's coming back in some form, and it's gonna be a good arc. Kinnikuman Lee. Danny boy, yo. And then, okay, now all of a sudden a bunch of questions pop out, but it just won't stay on screen. I don't know what's up with that. So I apologize if you're going to see my finger at the corners constantly. So I have no idea what's going on. Is it staying on now? Never mind. I thought it would stay for a bit. Congrats on 20K. Yeah, I didn't expect it either, but it seems that the majority of people that are subbing are specifically just want me to do more stuff with Devilman Crybaby, which is there really isn't much to go on. But I think I'm gonna have to try and rewatch the anime and probably do a commentary of the whole thing and see like does it stack up after many years later. Because the only thing I know for certain that I'm gonna be curious about is the fact that Rio and Akira don't really have like a good friendship in that iteration. I really don't like the shadow that's on my face. Like it looks like I have a bruised eye or something. Yeah, I wasn't expecting the 20K because it just sort of happened, and but at the same time, it wasn't like a big celebration either. So I'm like, yeah, it's more like a whatever for me. I'd be more happy if a video I make makes 20K, 20K views. I mean, not in cash, but well, that'd be nice too. But uh, let's see. God dang this! I don't like this thing at all. The questions won't stay up. What the fuck's wrong with it? I've been playing Kinnikuman Generations, mostly finding differences with certain characters like Kurawe and Warsman. No, I haven't played any of the Kinnikuman games. You said it was Generations. Which one is that one? Is that the 3D game or is that the fan one? Any anticipated shows or movie? Oh, I didn't even say that was from Dark Doctor. This is from Ghost PW, Ghost Password, or something else. Any anticipated shows or movies you are looking forward to? Besides Kinnikuman and Fist of North Star, I don't know what else. I'm waiting for something for Primal to come out, and the other thing that I'm interested in is the continuation of the Crisis on Infinite Earths from DC. Because the next film is gonna actually have Terry McGinnis, and it's gonna be the same voice actor, Will Friedle or Friedle. I'm not sure how to say his last name, and I think he's been the only voice for Terry McGinnis Batman for Batman Beyond. So that I'm excited for that one, but I need to catch up on the other DC films that I haven't finished watching of the new timeline, especially since Constantine or Constantine is in the background for in the first film. It's like, oh, this actually has to do with the previous continuity of the Camu, the DC animated movie universe, and the stuff that happened in that Flashpoint. Chaosic. I wonder how far they are going to adapt the manga since the manga has never been fully adapted. Oh, you mean for Fist of North Star? Yeah, I'm actually hoping they go all the way, even though I found some interviews recently about Tetsuo Hara, and he pretty much spilled that he wasn't a fan of part two, nor that he wanted it to happen. It was basically like a editorial mandate that he had to keep making more Fist of the North Star, even though he felt like it was done. So that would explain why in the documentary, another story on the making of the Fist of North Star manga, why they just glanced over that. It seems that part two is just like infamous among the creators for that series. They just don't like it. But as a new anime adaptation, I would like for it to go all the way and complete the entire manga. I mean, you might as well. If it's a good looking 2D series, you might as well finish the whole thing so it could be the quintessential Fist of North Star anime. And then if like let's say another 50 years from now they make another anime, let's just cover the good stuff and you know and leave this adaptation to be the one that has all of that. Watching 61 episodes of romance anime after this, I'm going to need to watch something bleed from Drax. Which romances have you been watching? The only like shoujo and josei stuff that I've seen have been Revolutionary Girl Utena, The Rose of Versailles, Princess Tutu, the Princess Knight manga, and I think that's it. I don't recall what else I've looked into. Oh yeah, there was also Vision of Escaflowne. Who, let's see. Sim Racer's asking. I have one question for you. Who is more manly, Kenshiro or Doomguy? I'm gonna say Kenshiro. I don't know too much about Doomguy. All I've seen is like a few clips here and there. But I do appreciate the of Doomguy's existence fighting against these demonic forces. And I don't even know what type of music it is because it's not really heavy metal. It's sort of like heavy metal. If that makes sense. I don't know what type of genre it is for the recent Doom games. Please let the remake be in 2D animation by Luis. Yeah, I'm really hoping it is because like we had enough parodies and CGI Fist and North Star stuff. Let's get something real, you know? Nostalgic Network. What are your thoughts on Rokudo's Bad Girls? If we're talking anime, I despise it because that's a series which that reminded me to finish the manga, and I do like it. I do feel that Rokudo's Bad Girls is it's a unique. Oh, that's another romance. That and My Bride is a Mermaid and My Love Story. Those are the other romances stuff that I've seen. But Rokudo's Bad Girls is a good one. It's just that to me, it's one of those series where there isn't going to be a big fan base for it. It's just going to be one of those, not exactly run of the mill, because there are some unique things about it. But the anime definitely didn't do anybody any favors because it didn't attract anybody. And then having seen it, the adaptation is just really pitiful. There's a lot of very awkward changes when it comes to composition and just visuals. A lot of jokes don't land, and I feel like I need to double check this, but I want to say it was like a director's first anime, so that's might be a reason why. But at the same time, there's just the idea is that it's supposed to portray some sukeban and like very bad girl delinquents, but the anime doesn't show the reasons why they're bad to begin with, and it just feels like this cheap rom com kind of thing. Like the manga is the direction to go, and I feel like it's just a missed opportunity because I felt the anime could have enhanced the manga, but it the adaptation we got just didn't. It just became like this mess. It also looked cheap at times. It was censored, and I don't know, something about the tone just didn't feel right as compared to when I read it. And there's a lot of like animation segments that didn't look as impressive as the manga panel. Not because of lack of detail, but the way they moved was very rigid and stiff. It didn't feel like there was enough resources put into it because I looked at a few clips of Helk, which is the anime that the same studio Satellite made afterward, like immediately afterward, and I feel that they put all their A team animators on that show instead of Rokudo. Because so far I made one video and I haven't actually I think there's two or three videos on my channel, but not an actual full on retrospective or review because I did write a big passage on my Patreon. Um, but the simple part is that like Rokudo is a unique protagonist just because that he's striving to become a man. So that's a nice angle to go about it. Rather than being like a manly man already, he wants to become the manly man. And throughout the whole manga, there are manly moments, there are more manly moments, but it definitely leans more on the feminine side of things. It wasn't like super testosterone manly, but it does have that manly spirit, and more so for a romantic series. It has enough of that. It's like the level of masculinity in that type of story, it works for it. By Double Zeta, what's up, man? Tokupunk Rio was good. You mean like the manga Rio? Hopefully they make the remake. Those obnoxious ninja says. Hopefully they make the remake very fun, and not only that, probably this will never happen. But I would love to see Hara and Boronzo make a new story in Fist and North Star with Ryu. It's not really a face reveal. Toku Punk. Well, I guess for new people it is because the beginning of my YouTube videos since 2012, 11, 2013. Like my face is in there, and some of the new ones too, depending which ones you look at. I feel a little itchy here. I kind of forgot what was the I, I don't know if Hara will ever make Morpheus and North Star like maybe as a chapter, but I don't picture him making a series for Fist and North Star. Like again, because I don't know if they're gonna make like a big epilogue for Kenshiro or maybe a eulogy to Kenshiro. Because if it's for Ryu, like Kenshiro's probably either gonna be an old man or he's gonna pass away. If it ever gets to like end the Fist of North Star or well Fist of North Star GT if we ever get to that point. Uh, Joe and Jalapeno. Hero, long time no see. How you doing? Hello, I'm doing good. And whenever I hear jalapeno, all I think about is gargoyles. But they say jalapena in their lines of Disney's gargoyles. Yeah, I've just been trying to look for new like editing equipment because I've been looking at stuff like DaVinci Resolve, but so far I don't know. I might be fine with what I have, or maybe I could look for another one. Not really sure. I just been looking more into writing and drawing videos. I was looking at Sakurai's Smash. It's actually supposed to be about like game design, but it also helps with the drawing stuff when it comes to postures and well, more specifically action poses more than anything, and a couple of other stuff. A little bit here and there. Dark Doctor, I got into Kinnikuman thanks to you. Yeah, well, you're welcome. But at the same time, I feel very awkward about that because it is I would have to double check this, but I think Sakyo no Fansub only exists because I make Kinnikuman videos, and I'm just how did this happen? I just want to talk about Kinnikuman. Like I think they said that they watched my videos and that's how they found out about Kinnikuman, or maybe that was just like an inspiration just to go at it. Maybe they were already Kinnikuman fans. But Sakyo no Fansub is a Spanish subgroup, but they also do the English translations for the manga and the anime. Because if you wanted to watch the anime, you could, even though it's incomplete. Like the final stuff is all the filler original stuff. So anything canon you can watch already, along with Scramble for the Throne. I've been looking into torrenting that, and I barely got the torrent files, but I haven't done the torrent process yet because I don't know why a bunch of websites decided to crop the Kinnikuman episodes and put it into 16 by 9, and it's the aspect ratio is all messed up. And the only way you could watch it in the correct aspect ratio is by getting the torrents, or unless some site actually like did it right. Because Sakyo no Fansub does host the episodes on their site also, but it's only in Spanish sub. I don't think they have their English sub posted anywhere aside from the torrent. I guess I should say this too. If you're on the Sakyo no Fansub website, even though the torrent says it's in Spanish, like it should have both language tracks on it. Same here. Got into Kinnikuman and Fist of North Star Manly Anime. David Cabal. Yeah, thank you. You're welcome. I don't know which one's the right way. It's mainly because of all my older videos where I was really into it, and well, I still am. It just now it's more of a resurgence, a rebirth that I gotta experience again because it's been more than 10 years since I did a bunch of those videos, and now it's gone to the point where I'm just reinvigorating myself by reading these things again, watching these things again, and trying to like make the big videos that I never made before. What are your thoughts on X-Men 97 by Chaosic? The new X-Men, the thing is, I never finished the original, so I'm kind of excited the fact that oh they're actually bringing back the same voice cast. It is a continuation of the show. Unfortunately, I did not finish the original, and I know for certain I didn't get to see that many episodes when it aired. But surprisingly, I did see all of Spider-Man, the animated series, when it aired on TV in the 90s. I think that is the only cartoon that I actually saw from start to finish in complete totality. Because anything else, I've seen like a bunch of episodes but never finished the show until I was in my 20s, until I had access to the internet. Double Zeta, I'm changing my name. I used to be Kiryu Sanagi. Ah, okay. Yeah, didn't you have like some Tatsunoko profiles before? Because right now you have Johnny and Gyro, I think. Or is that I know for sure it's Johnny. I can tell that's Gyro to the side. uh, I need to scroll back up because I don't know what happened here. Wow, I went too far down. Jeez, yeah, I went way too far down, but yeah, I think I found it. Uh, with NHK, well, Hoto no Ken, I'm guessing it'll be mixing 2D and 3D since the 40th anniversary exhibition is coming back March 1st. I'm guessing will be more information by then. Oh, it is? Yeah, okay. Hopefully the trailer, because that's actually pretty close to my birthday, which is on March 4th. So that'll be like a nice unintentional present if it shows up by then. Give me like that anime trailer, please. I'm currently 98 episodes into the series where Kenshiro and Raul make it to the South Star Temple. Oh, you're pretty close to the end because it stops at 108. There's episode 109, but that's like a recap of the whole part one series, and after that you go to Fist and North Star 2. You don't really have to watch the rest, but if you want to, you go ahead. it's There's still some good moments in part two, but at the same time, it's just not as original. It's not as unique. But then again, like I guess if you're into like the Dark Hado from Street Fighter, that's I'm pretty sure that's where it came from. It came from Hokuto Yuken. But I'll just leave it at that. I don't want to spoil you. Toku Punk, what are your thoughts on Egghead? Ooh, yeah, there's I feel the Egghead arc is gonna be it could potentially be the best anime of the year. It's really unfair how One Piece can get like these moments where sometimes it'll just like slog, it'll just drag for a bit, then out of nowhere, boom! Like, oh, this is a really good arc. This is really well written and compact. So the pacing is really good, and I don't mean just anime pacing. I mean like manga pacing too, because to be honest, ever since the New World stuff happened, like, I haven't really liked One Piece as much. Because for sure, right now, I don't like the Wano arc. I don't feel the one arc didn't really move me. Just Rosa, like, I think I like that just a little bit more, but only because I think the birdcage is the perfect doomsday clock or the ticking clock, excuse me, for like a timer and like, oh no, we gotta hurry before this kills us all. The usually in a movie this would be like, oh, we gotta stop the bomb from exploding, or we gotta stop from that asteroid crashing to Earth, or some that type of danger. And I feel like Doflamingo is just much more of an evil character compared to Kaido. The problem with Kaido that I have is that a lot of his screen time is shared with Orochi, and I really feel that Orochi was the real driving force in terms of villainy in that arc. Like, even though Kaido did kill Odin, and he has shown to be like a very evil character because he's still involved with this. Uh, I was kind of hoping more out of him, even though he has the muscle to this. It's sort of like if there was an arc that had Raul and Jaco together. Well, I guess in this case it would have been Jaco and Falco, but whatever. Like, the Egghead has won people's hearts with Bartholomew Kuma. Like, well, there's gonna be no one that dislikes that character. Like, everyone's gonna love Kuma from now on, especially once the anime gets to those episodes to those people. And I'm actually surprised how now we're going against the Five Elder Stars and Saturn. I forgot his name. It was like it's a Spanish name. It's Jose something Saturn, I think. But yeah, that guy has already become like a much bigger villain than Kaido to me, even though his screen time is so minimal. Like, you just anything you learn about him, you'll absolutely hate him. He's a terrible guy. He's like, and I'm really hoping he's an actual demon or an actual devil, because he's very demonic upon his first appearance, and then like, well, we're at the final arc of One Piece, right? It's amazing what we're getting, and then Vegapunk, and then in the next chapter we're supposed to be getting like all the lore explained, hopefully. Yeah, there's something happened with Kuma. It's like sad beyond belief. Because, but then again, like One Piece has had like subtle shifts into going to this darker territory ever since they got to the New World, like with Karibo and his brother when they started like they were gonna bury a marine alive, and then there's been other little things here and there in the time skip where things have just been like excessively brutal. Uh, like the well, basically all the stuff with the flamingo with the toys and all the enslavement and stuff. The celestial dragons are like the most monstrous characters in One Piece, and it's kind of surprising that we're seeing them in the forefront. Same thing goes with the Blackbeard pirates. Like, oh, like I've been wanting to see the Blackbeard since the 2000s. Like I've been hyped for Blackbeard pirates ever since Marineford. Like always anticipating to see, well, one of the Blackbeard pirates are gonna do something. Then like, oh, then many years, almost 20 years later, yeah, almost 20 years later, I'm like, oh, now we get to see the Blackbeard pirates. This is amazing. Like high school me is happy. Oh yeah. We'd love to see a review of 80s G.I. Joe cartoon. A lot of manly characters there come up. Yeah, I've been rewatching a few episodes, but then I got distracted and started watching anime again. Because there's a lot of jokes and humor, and I do feel G.I. Joe is like uh, possibly the manliest thing of the 80s cartoons. I want to say Masters of the Universe is there also, but the tone isn't really that manly. It's more uh, good, on the good, pure-hearted type. It's almost like an innocent type of show. It almost is, but unfortunately, I feel that She-Ra is a much better show than He-Man's. It just there's like feels a lot more at stake with She-Ra and Hordak as the villain, and I'm talking like 80s She-Ra also because you know what, I need to finish Princesses of Power. I still needed like I think 15 episodes and I never got around to finishing it. I did watch Revolution, Masters of the Universe Revolution, and it was much better than Revelation. Um, I am excited for more content. Hopefully, we will get She-Ra in a modern setting, and then I realized something that He-Man and She-Ra have not shared any screen time since the late 1980s. They've appeared together in comics, but like an animated medium, we haven't seen them since the 80s. But yeah, and GI Joe is the one I need to rewatch. Thankfully, all it's all on YouTube now, thanks to like Hasbro. Kinnikuman Grand Prix 2 is great. Yeah, it's the only Kinnikuman game I'm familiar with, but I haven't played anything. Why does Devilman OVA have the best dub ever by Toku Punk? Well, I don't know. Maybe because of manga entertainment back in those days, they probably didn't care. I want to say it probably happened because episode one is very exposition heavy. And there's not that much action in the first episode. It's only at the very end where the action really comes, and even then, it's very brief. So I think the foul language was put in there on purpose just to spice things up, just to keep like whatever person awake at the time. Because the Demon Bird OVA, that's where all the action is. That's where all the real gore is and everything. So I feel like the bad dialogue is just carried over into that. Yeah, like should I take off my shoes? I don't give a fuck. I'm trying to remember what the other lines were like. You better fucking believe it. It was the other one. Kingdom of Generations official. You must be confusing it with Muscle Fight. Oh, it's Kingdom of Generations. The I don't remember because I want to say that was the GameCube one, or am I thinking of the wrong title? Because I know there was a few Ultimate Muscle ones. Because the other one that comes to mind is Galactic Wrestling featuring Ultimate Muscle, and I think that's an English version of Grand Prix. I don't know. I heard mixed things on Infinite Crisis Earth One. Yeah, I wouldn't know because I never read those issues, and then there are some similarities compared to other things. Because they're not really focusing on the Justice Society characters. It's more like an afterthought. It's more about like the it's more about setting up the anti-monitor or the anti-monitor, which I'm not really familiar with these parts of DC. Most of my DC knowledge really comes from the Bruce Timm, Paul Dini, that team of the DC animated universe and some of the movies that popped out since then. I only read a few graphic novels, but like Crisis on Infinite Earths is like completely new to me. The only exposure I had to that was the Justice League. I'm trying to remember the name of the movie. Crisis on Two Earths. I think that's what it was called. I wonder if aside from Kamiya, other voice actors will return for smaller roles. The others that are still alive, that is Hideyuki Tanaka and Banjo Ginga. Oh, that's right, that's right. Hideyuki is the one that voices Ryuga, right? And currently Momotaro and Warsman. I think he's the only voices for those characters, or at least for Momo. I'm not sure about Warsman. I kind of forgot that Banjo Ginga was still around. Because the last time he played anything manly was as Darby in Stardust Crusaders, and then he came back as Souther. Actually, like, well, even though this was years ago, his Souther sounded like about the same. It didn't sound any different from his like time when he voiced him in the 80s. So maybe we could get Banjo Ginga back for Souther. That'd be nice. It's like, perfect. Like, get his troll laugh again. Or go ahead, Mr. Joester. Yeah. It's been a couple of years since I saw your live streams. Hope you're doing well by, oh, I'm not going to say this right. Tezcatli Pokasura. Tezcatli Pokasura? Or it's just something on the lines of Technocatli Pokasura. Oh, sorry. Well, yeah, like I haven't really been live streaming like on camera as much. Some of the more recent, actually, there is one recent live stream that you could check on my channel. Just go to live and you'll see me do a tier maker for my favorite anime characters. It's not a final list, but it was sort of like, I might as well do one and then do it again next year and see how my feelings changed. Lovely Complex and From Me to You. Oh, the only one I know is Lovely Complex. But that's only by looking at the cover of the anime. That's the only thing I know about it. Until the 30th anniversary of Hokuto no Ken, Bronson has never reread post time skip. And when he said he was interviewed about, he would say like, "Who's Kaio or who's Hyo or so Hyo." Wow. Uh, yeah, that's hilarious. Doom guy has no emotion. Those are not just ninjas. Well, you don't need. Well, there's a difference between having no emotion and being passionate. I don't know. I feel like you need to be passionate in order to be a manly character. Because I know with Go 13 and Ken, there's some stoicism. Like there are sometimes silent, and they could be very silent if they wanted to. But I still feel I need to have them emote in some way. And I think Doom guy emotes not through words, but mainly through like his actions and like unyielding force of terror for the I want to call them parademons, but I'm pretty sure that is not the right name. I'm thinking of DC when I say parademons. Yeah, because I mean, if you have a track that's called "The One Thing They Fear Is You," I mean, that's a good sign already of masculinity right there. You should do a VI. What was that? You watched Sonic Prime? Any comments? I only seen the first few episodes of Sonic Prime. This was before like season 2 and 3 came out. But I don't know where the Mickey Mouse Clubhouse meme came from. I don't understand the context. I'm guessing that from what I've heard by word of mouth is that Sonic Prime just got very I don't know, it wasn't as good as people were hoping for because even when first season came out, the most objective Sonic people that I know it was like Roger something. I forgot what country he's from, but he does like these flash animations and he does like a Sonic Dissected. That's how I know him for, and because he and his friends are like very objective Sonic fans are very analytical. They're pretty much like the most unbiased people I know when it comes to Sonic. So and then they had a discussion for the first season of Sonic Prime, and then they did bring up some good points. And then I never really got around to like because even when I watched it, I didn't like the concept of the show because what I wanted for Sonic is like I just want a Sonic show that establishes the status quo, from chronological to like current stuff. But the problem with the show is that we're seeing alternate timeline versions of different characters. So like what I'm not familiar with what the core characters are supposed to be, and that's what I really want. I just want to know how the character's supposed to be. That's like, come to the Sonic Bible or what, however he's supposed to be or she's supposed to be, rather than seeing all these different forms. Or because like even in the movies, like Sonic is different there, and almost Sonic's personality does vary in almost every iteration. So that's what I would appreciate to see, like just one solid, good Sonic show that perfectly describes everyone's personalities and like, the go-to Sonic show when someone says, "Well, I want to get into Sonic. Is there something I could look into?" Yeah, you can watch the show, and that's all you need to know for Sonic. That's what I want for Sonic, but that hasn't happened because the movies, like that version of Sonic doesn't have that cool factor that he has from the games. He doesn't have that confidence either, and Sonic Prime is sort of in that same vein where he's very goofy. But at the same time, what I've been watching instead is Adventures of Sonic the Hedgehog, and like I love the energy. I love how like wacky it is. How it's pretty much Looney Tunes from time to time. I just really like the dynamic. I like the energy. I like looking at the crazy drawings of the weird character designs. It's very, that's like a show that those are the types of shows I grew up on, where it's like that sort of weirdness, toyetic approach, like 80s and 90s stuff. I'll probably automatically like it just just because it's from that period, for the most part, and not everything. You watched the TMNT Mutant Mayhem show trailer, Kenny Elisa's. Yes, I did, even though it was very brief. Although I am kind of curious, like, how's it gonna go from there? What are we gonna do? Because so far, since some of the clips show that they're in school, I'm guessing that it's gonna be like Danny Phantom type of thing, where there's gonna be adventures at school, and then all of a sudden, boom, stuff after that. Sort of like a superhero slice of life kind of thing, which is different for turtles, but because I'm not a super big fan of Rise, but I did like it. Because I do feel bad for a lot of people that wanted Rise to continue because it did get pulled way too early. And then Mutant Mayhem right now is sort of, well, that's the annoying part because it's called Tales of the TMNT, but I'm like, well, that's a different comic. Why are you calling it that? And it doesn't help that 2012 Turtles final season was called Tales of the TMNT. So I'm like, why are you calling it that? It's just gonna make confusion because there's two Transformers shows that are called Transformers Animated, and another one called Transformers Robots in Disguise. There's like two of each. I'm like, well, what are you doing? That's confusing. Now you gotta separate them by year. But I don't know. Like I will watch it whenever it comes around. But at the same time, like I kind of don't know like what to expect because Mutant Mayhem is a movie that I wasn't super into. I didn't like the humor. I like the visuals, because it was actually very different than what I thought it was gonna be. Because everyone assumes it's gonna be like, oh, Enter the Spider Verse. Like, no, it's actually different. It's a very different art style for that, and it is kind of sad that they're gonna go the 2D route instead of like that crazy 3D that the movie was using. But I don't know. Maybe I'll like the show better than the film because I didn't really like the humor. I didn't really like some of the dynamics. Um, because so far they only shown the turtles. They haven't shown April or whoever they're gonna fight. Like, who they're gonna fight? All the villains are good guys now. Like, we need some more. Because they were fighting a robot, so I'm guessing what they're just gonna fight against like TCGRI robots. Like TCGRI is gonna be a villains instead of like good guys. I don't know. Chaotic. I wonder what kind of music will be used for the new Hokuto no Ken anime. the kind of music using Ken's Rage or from the original anime just with modern viewers. I'm kind of hoping that there's going to be a little bit of both because there's this Fist of North Star game called Sega Ages, and that one has like rock remixes of the '80s soundtrack, and along with the movie soundtrack. So that's what's interesting. But ever since New Fist of the North Star, like the series has been using a lot of metal and rock to the point where it become like Ken's Rage is full of like metal, power metal stuff. And then what am I thinking of? Lost Paradise also had a little bit of Lost Paradise had more variety, but even then that still had like the heavy metal portions into it. So I'm guessing like Fist of North is gonna have some metal. I feel like it's gonna happen in like in the new anime, but I would appreciate getting like new renditions of the old soundtrack because I mean like One Piece is doing that right now. Like now, like very old tracks from the '90s are getting like remixes. But then again, Lupin is all about like remixes. There's no original tracks anywhere. By Baki Zavaris. I'm almost done reading Volume 5 of Fist and North Star. Raoul is an awesome character. He decapitated a tiger's neck. He's a crazy villain. Oh yeah, his introduction in the manga is like a much more evil, especially because the scene with what he does with his prisoners and Cassandra isn't really shown in the anime. I made a video about it about how Raoul's tyranny ended families because that one explains how the anime sort of changed that a little bit. They made a Uyghur be the one that did some of the punishments, and they do mention that there's a lot of dead martial artists, but they don't really address. Actually, yeah, because it was in a filler episode where they mentioned some of that canon stuff, but Raoul was not in those scenes. So yeah, I don't know about that, but yeah, like Raoul is gonna become like a big deal once you see him fight, which is pretty close to where you're reading. Or maybe you already read that portion, but you're very close to that. And then after that, you get like more good stuff with a character called Yuta, and much after that, you get into Souther, which is another big villain. Danny Boy, honestly, I could see the new anime nailing everything aside from the soundtrack. I think they're definitely gonna go the heavy metal direction instead of the Western style from the OG. Yeah, because there's a few Western tracks, and I really feel they're going to do the rock for modern stuff, but then again, like I feel like there could be some orchestral pieces because Stardust Crusaders had a lot of like dynamic orchestral stuff and a few other types of music rather than just like rock. Those obnoxious ninjas, because basically the Borg arc was also kind of depressing, which also made me cry. The Borg arc. Are you talking about Star Trek? Or am I reading that wrong? For what series are you talking about? I know I just got here, but are there any new anime you're looking forward to this year, Nostalgic Network? It's mainly Kinnikuman and Fist of North Star. I really don't know if there's anything else that. Well, One Piece right now, because we're in Egghead. Um, because I already caught up to the manga, and so now I'm just like looking forward to what the anime does. Because because I decided to skip ahead with the anime because I'm like I was actually watching like one or two episodes a day. Then I realized, I'm not gonna finish Wano at this pace. I need to go to reading and then swap to the anime a little later. um, I'm trying to think what else is there because I don't recall hearing any other news. The only other one I could think of would be City Hunter. Uh, I forgot the name of the movie. But whenever that City Hunter movie becomes available, and I'm really hoping we get something new for Lupin the Third this year. Like, can we finally get a Zenigata movie or another Koike film or something Lupin, please? Because the last thing we got was Lupin Zero, which was good, but I would like to see some more Lupin stuff, please. Um, yeah, I don't know what else. Because I don't know if Maki comes back, I'll watch it anyways. Even though it's not like anything beyond this point aren't really arcs that I care about. Because I felt fulfilled seeing the Son of Ogre stuff already. So I'm like, yeah, this is what I wanted to see since 2014. I'm trying to think of any other anime that can potentially come out. Well, there's Dragon Ball Daima, which I think is this year. But yeah, I'll watch that when it comes out because I'm not a fan of Super. So even though Daima's premise is a little odd for getting everyone down back to kids, but at the same time, like maybe this will be good. maybe maybe there will be more balance with fighting or something, or I don't know. Maybe everyone gets to do something. Um, the other thing that I'm waiting for from Discotheque would be the last Kenshiro, the last Fist of North Star movie with just Kenshiro Zero. I think that comes out in March or a little bit after in March. Because there's also a Berserk on Blu-ray, which finally getting the official Blu-ray release over here. Because for the longest time, people just like leak the Blu-ray online, and that's the footage you're seeing. You're still following Last Ronin? No, sorry, I haven't like. I only read like 3 issues, and then I never went back to it because I'm like, I don't know, I wasn't really into the what was going on in Last Ronin. I appreciate that Michelangelo gets to have a serious storyline, but I was more into the flashback stuff about him. Anything that's going on in the main timeline, I just kind of like, whatever. I do think it's pretty ballsy to like introduce new Ninja Turtle characters, but then again, IDW has been doing nothing but new turtles, and I think they got a refresh or a reboot for the current comic. So I don't know. The thing is, I'm more into watching things than I am reading. So if there was an IDW series, and then yeah, I watched that all the way through. But at this point, it's probably gonna be like what I would like to see is like some sort of new animated feature based on the IDW, just so they could show Janenka, just for people can accept the fact already that like who said it, because every now and then like on Twitter or something, whenever there's a picture of Janenka, everyone's asking why is there a fifth turtle, why is there a yellow one, like who's the yellow turtle? I'm just like like the turtle's a girl, like why did they add a girl? I'm like, well that girl's been there since like the 2010s. She's been around. Just make her appear in something already so people can shut up. um, Danny boy, after Ikusa no Ko, I don't think Hana can handle doing another long serialized manga. Do you think Ryu Hayabusa from Ninja Gaiden games is manly? I have a couple of typos there, but I'm assuming that might have been an error. I haven't played much, so I can't really say because I'm getting him confused for Strider Hiryu, and I know that's not the right character you're thinking of. You said Ninja Gaiden. No, I'm not familiar with the character because right off the bat I'm thinking of Shinobi, and that's from Sega. So I'm like, yeah, I don't think I'm experienced with that character at all. Sorry. Hayabusa. Cage Creature, thoughts on JoJo Lands? I have none because I'm not reading it. I couldn't get like I'm one of the few people that will openly say I did not like Steel Ball Run. I feel Steel Ball Run was much very mean spirited that more than it needed to. Like I might change my mind whenever the anime comes out because I'll watch it regardless. Um, but I know for sure I did not care for JoJo Leon. That's how it's pronounced like Evangelion. That's how it's supposed to sound like. But JoJo Leon, I didn't really care for the 40 some chapters that I read, and I caught up to date at the time. So I just left it hanging and never read it, and I just didn't like felt any intrigue to like go back to JoJo because well, current JoJo is not what I like about JoJo. I like the manly JoJo stuff, and then I stayed with it all the way to part 7. And anything beyond that, I'm just like I don't really care. Like JoJo Lands right now, I don't like. I have no interest like, for JoJo at all. Like to me, JoJo stops at 7. Well, the reason why I don't like JoJo Leon because well, I never finished it, but doesn't the events of JoJo Leon basically ruin like Johnny's Joestar storyline from part 7? Again, going back to the whole mean spiritedness of part 7, I feel like a lot of character deaths were unnecessary, and it also felt like it's not really influencing the character. It's just more like it's influencing the reader, and I'm not sure if that's a really good way to go about it because I remember that I forgot what was the guy's name. The guy with that had the other steel balls, because he ends up getting killed by Diego Brando, and no one's around to see it. No one knows that he's dead. Because a lot of people like to bring up Ringo Road again, like "Welcome to the man's world," but then again, like I don't know, that's more of a, a gyro, like, because I feel gyro does was like the best thing out of that for me, and Funny Valentine, but I don't know, I really feel that doesn't Jojo Leon just make Johnny's story like all the more tragic, all the more like did this need to happen? Did it have to go that far? Because a lot of Steel Ball Run characters are like very tragic by nature, and I don't know if I like the concept that everyone just keeps like I don't know. There's like an overlying theme that I overlooked, and maybe I'll look at it different, or I don't know. Maybe if I watch my own video, because it's on my second channel, Man the Anime Hero, where I talk about Steel Ball Run in full, and I just didn't like the messages it was giving. I was just like, I don't. Why is Araki doing this? And I think JoJo Lands is sort of like that also in terms of like, well, we're not gonna follow any good characters. It's gonna be like just pure bad ones. By morally bad is what I mean. Because the thing ends with something with drug dealers or something. I don't know nothing of JoJo Lands, and I just don't care because like I don't like the character designs. I don't like the change in artwork. I don't like the change in tone because JoJo Leon was full of weird stuff, and I don't care for the weird stuff. I don't care for the JoJo memes like the JoJo jokes. That's not what I got into JoJo for. I got into JoJo before like it got popular. So the perception that I had of the series at the time was that it's a very like because when I first heard about JoJo, like this was a real thing. People were homophobic about JoJo because it just like didn't want to read it because it looked too gay because of all that stuff. But once I read it, and it was kind of discouraging. But once I got into it, it was like, oh, this is like a really manly thing. It's like Fist of the North Star, but in a different style. So, and then nowadays, JoJo's become like this very flamboyant. A lot of people still just think like any character with muscles, like, oh, that's like a JoJo reference, right? Like, no, it's just like there's still other manly things out there. Like it's either JoJo or Baki. That's what it is for people nowadays, and that's because of current mainstream stuff and Netflix. But the current JoJo, I don't care because like stuff in JoJo Leon that I just found like weird for weirdness sake. Was stuff like when they're having that rhinoceros beetle fight, and then one of the bet is like if you lose, you gotta let me lick your eye. Like, what do you mean? And I feel a lot of JoJo Leon was just that. Um, and if there's any like important lore or hardcore stuff that happens later, like I don't care. I don't have any need to complete that. Do you like Shirato Sanpei manga, Knights of Old? I haven't read a single one because we're barely getting like Sasuke. That's the one that's coming out, right? Because one of those ninja manga just barely got licensed. So I don't really know anything other than like his influence. That's the most I know about Sanpei Shirato. You introduced me to Kinnikuman too, Tokopunk, LOL. Well, thank you. You're welcome. It's one of the series that I got really into to the point where now it's my number two favorite anime and manga. Part 9, JoJo Lands, what are your thoughts so far? I'm currently reading the manga. Not sure for which series, since like I'm pretty late in getting to things. Mad Cave Publishing is gonna release new Gatchaman comic book this summer. I've seen some of the panel leaks and it was quite brutal. The art is not bad. I'm interested in getting a copy from Double Zeta. Maybe I don't know what I want more than anything. Like I said, I'm more of an anime guy, more of an animation person. What I would like to see is a Gatchaman 4, and for that series, I want them to actually have like a super robot because the God Phoenix and those other variations they got, like to fight against Galactor's like Iron Beast mechas, like they needed to have a mecha of their own. They needed their super robot because like having a flying ship and Firebird, like it's not enough. They needed more equipment. It's also it's like it's pretty worse like in Gatchaman F because the Gacha Spartan, Because before they had like one big ship and four other ships to combine. Here it's now like now we got five smaller ships, and it's not as in like I don't know. I feel like it is. But then again, technically it's stronger because Candy Eagle's using the Gotcha Fencer, but that was actually killing him. But I don't know. Like if I can support it in any way, I guess. Like if it's actual Gotcha Man and not Battle of the Planets or another Americanized version that they're doing. Definitely manly because oh wait, never mind, it's not for me. Ever read Vinland Saga, Cage Creature? Yes, I have. I watched both. That's something I needed to talk about because I mentioned this in previous streams. Vinland Saga was pretty good, but I was actually shocked um that it was really good because for whatever reason, it's mainly teenagers that are very vocal about Vinland Saga. And then from previous streams and conversations, I was kind of shocked that oh, the people that like Vinland Saga or are sort of like this vocal minority because they only really cared for the fights and they thought that the second season was pretty boring. So I'm like, what do you mean? Like, the second season is where all the good stuff is, all that slavery and the farm. It's like that's where it's at. This is a hardcore spice and wolf. And I did read the manga chapters to like caught up, and that was the one of the new series I experienced last year at the very end of the last year. I made like again like most of the things that are not on the channel are my Patreon. I wrote a Patreon post for it, and I just like the fact that Villain Saga is like oh it's like Rurouni Kenshin, it's like Fullmetal Alchemist, it's like I forgot what other thing, and then but then I was surprised the fact that oh, no wonder why this thing is good because the author wrote Planet or Planetes. It's like the guy's experienced guy manga guys. I'm like, I never knew. And then the cherry on top is that oh, this main inspiration was Fist of the North Star, which is like, well, excuse me, like, oh really? Unfortunately, I can't find like concrete proof because the Wikipedia footnote points to a Japanese I forgot what it was, like some Japanese article. I haven't found an interview, an English interview where the creator says Fist of North Star was a big influence, but it's supposedly true. But yeah, Vinland Saga is like really good. The depictions of hell of the Vikings. It's very brutal stuff. Because I do feel like the first season is kind of watered down because it was a shonen at first and then it became a seinen and then I do like how the second stuff did retcon like oh yeah like Dorfin was doing bad things when he was with Escalade. It was like oh shit. Because even when the manga when we get introduced to that mechanic girl I forgot her name like with the woman that was raised to become a bear hunter or like yeah because I feel bad that I forgot her name, but yeah, because when we get her storyline, like she's in her village, she's making like new inventions that will help their society, and then all of a sudden I see Askeladd show up. I'm like, oh no, Askeladd, what did you do? What did you do? And then I kind of realized how much Rurouni Kenshin and like a lot of pacifist stuff. There's definitely a lot of I forgot if it was Christian or Catholic, one of the two. Like, there's a lot of religious themes in there. So there's a little bit of Fullmetal Alchemist. There's a little bit of Trigun. Uh, there's a little bit of everything in Vinland Saga when it comes to the good stuff, at least. A little bit of Berserk in terms of like um, just that whole society that waste, not a wasteland. Sorry, just that like, be kill or be killed. Is a lot of like anything can happen. Like one day you could be eating with your family like nothing. The next day you're a slave. It's like you're a slave and everyone you love is killed or killed and raped and brutally murdered and all this shit. And I'm like, oh fuck, it's wild out here. But Thorfinn and that and his friend of his, like they were pretty lucky getting on that farm. Like they could have had a much worse life. Because we saw that with the slave that escaped, that tried to take his wife back, and then it just went downhill for them. It was like, oh, uh, yeah, I would like to see the Vinland Saga come back. But yeah, it took me by surprise how good it was. But unfortunately, it's one of those series where I can objectively say it's really good, and I'm super invested, and would like to see more. But it's not one of my favorites. Like it's not like one of my favorite things, unfortunately. Yeah, so that's what I have to say. You're making some more developments of manly villain list, right? Looking forward to that. Yes, I made improvements. I almost narrowed down to 20 candidates that are gonna be. It's gonna be 20 for sure now. I keep getting embarrassed because a couple of years ago, I think like 2021, I made a tweet saying that the manly villain list is gonna happen this year. It didn't happen. Uh, yeah, I'm making headway because I need to start downloading clips and rewatching some shows. I feel like maybe what I should do is just make some character videos just to like prepare myself that don't have to do with the list. Just talk about any character and just make a video about that because I need to start doing that with Kinnikuman again. Because I know for sure I want to talk about Terryman first because we're gonna get some new footage right away with the new anime. So that'll be the perfect time to talk about Terryman. Who's your favorite Tekken character if you have any interest? Can you at least? I only know like a little bit like of Tekken. I haven't seen anything for myself. I did see the anime that popped out, but I wish it was longer because I was like I was invested. I wanted to see more, but like it's from what I've gathered is that it's a good. It's like it's a serviceable adaptation, but it's very like condensed, I think. So it's one of those like to me it was an OVA. It's sort of like, oh yeah, like it's like watching an OVA that's only like pieces of the manga or in this case pieces of the game. But I have seen some clips, I've seen some character designs. Like I do feel that like Kazuya Mishima does have like a really manly villain design. Like and I was actually surprised that Daisuke Gordy voiced the original Heihachi. So and then his replacement, who also does Joseph and Edejima in the PS3 games, I forgot his name, but something Izuka, I think. I forgot his name, but yeah, he does old man Joseph. But he also played like the new Heihachi, but then now he passed away too. So I was like, oh, Unsho Izuka, I think that's his name. But yeah, like, because I definitely heard there's like a little bit of Devilman in there. Because I've seen like some demons like Devil Gene and all that stuff. Because I am interested in seeing Tekken because I do feel like that's probably like the manliest modern fighting game right now. I need to look into all that stuff because I've seen a little bit of Street Fighter 2V. Like I've seen more Street Fighter than anything else, but that's also because Street Fighter has more anime content than any of the other game series. Because Mortal Kombat's more as a US thing, but I need to look more into like Fatal Fury and King of Fighters. There's Tekken. Because I don't right now everyone's on Street Fighter 6, but I'm barely catching up on the older Street Fighter 2 stuff. Uh, but no, I don't have a favorite character, but I do say that I do like Kazuya's design out of everybody. I don't know, something about that face and that hairstyle just like works. It just works for me, and I'm kind of wondering if like Akira Kongo is based off of um, at least in terms of hairstyle, if he's based off Kazuya or not. By Gemini Canon sub. I'm assuming that's canon. I can't read that properly from Saint Seiya. What is one of your main inspiration behind your art style, and also how old were you when you first started drawing? Oh, okay. I didn't expect a drawing question because I've been wanting to draw, but the way it's going on right now, I'm gonna have to draw on paper before I can like get my laptop back in like fully working condition. Actually, am I fully charged? Yeah, okay. I'm like 90% charged. I don't need to keep this plugged in. My inspir there might be a drawing video that explains these things, or maybe I don't know if I tackled it, but it's kind of weird because when it comes to drawing, like I was drawing for as long as I can remember. I know for sure I was in elementary when I first started taking drawing art classes. As early as fourth grade is what I can remember. No, no, no. as early as fifth grade. As fifth grade is when I started drawing. I know for sure I was drawing before that, like probably just doing things. But ever since then, art has been my elective all the way from middle school and high school and some college. But I need to go back into drawing because I still need to like push myself in drawing new things like action scenes and backgrounds and poses. And I feel like it's getting to the point where nowadays I need to draw an actual scene and just to like test the waters in terms of like directing and like testing myself. Because I know for sure I could make like a short video of like, oh yeah, I've been editing like manga panel sound for like or clips in previous videos, so it's like the same thing. Put a picture, add some sounds, and I doubt I could fully animate that. It would have to be like very minimal storyboard stuff. uh, but in terms of inspirations, because even though I did see a lot of anime growing up, like the muscle stuff happened because of Fist of the North Star, but that was way later. We're talking like 2012, 2011, when Fist of the North Star came into my life. Um, Prior to that, I was drawing a bunch of like monster kind of stuff, but the actual human characters were like semi-realistic, not quite like not quite anime, but not quite like real looking either. So it was kind of weird. But the monster and horror vibes like did stick with me. Like I would have to look up old drawings that are done on paper that I haven't scanned yet. But basically, all those stuff changed once Vista North Star came around. Like Vista North Star and Kinnikuman are two of the biggest influences in my life because in terms of anime and manga. But then again, stuff like the DC animated universe because I grew up on that more than anything. I did see some Marvel cartoons, but DC was like my favorite thing in terms of animation. Other stuff like Ninja Turtles and Sonic. For DC, it was specifically Batman, the '90s Batman animated series show because due to the dark shadows, the silhouettes, the the colors. I kind of want to say like a lot of Cartoon Network stuff too, like stuff that you see from Craig McCracken and Gendy Tartakovsky, like they're very flat, angular in curves and sharp. Like you look at him from Powerpuff Girls, he's like a very like his legs are curved, but there's like spikes with the heels, and then in the newer art styles, like Mojo Jojo has like these really sharp shoulder pads. Dexter's Laboratory, Johnny Bravo, that type of stuff, Samurai Jack, like the way those things look, I just really love the angular stuff. Um, some those inspirations, Ninja Turtles, like I just like the fact that it was so creative. A little bit of He-Man too, really, even though it's more of a recent thing that I like, because I do like the fact that well, then again, there's also like some horror stuff because I grew up on Goosebumps. It's kind of weird because I don't think I'm necessarily like a horror person. Like I like to watch horror from time to time, but I've never become like a. Because if I was a horror fan, like the walls right here will be filled with like posters of things, but instead like it's it's all turtles. It's just turtles. Actually, yeah, I should probably turn this around. See all the turtles on the shelves. And Sonic is another one. Like I really like the artwork for the Sonic Adventure stuff. I don't remember the name of the artist, but like that's the Sonic that I like looking at. Yeah, so there's the He-Man. Hopefully the camera doesn't look too ugly because I'm pretty sure I'm still getting like crappy internet down here. Uh, I'd be surprised if the quality looks super good, but I doubt it. Yeah, I don't have the lights on. Sorry, but I don't want to move from where I am. I do have a video of my toy collection from 2023. Uh, Let me move this back to wait. Well, I guess it's like that now. I can go back to what it was. Well, yeah, so that's where my inspirations come from. Like when it comes to Kinnikuman, it's all about the character designs, all the different wacky stuff. Like you could have characters like Warsman and Robin Mass, and all of a sudden you get a T-Pac Man, Euro Man. Ashra Man, Sunshine, Sneakator, all those wacky stuff. I love that, but because that's like very Ninja Turtles, I Ghosts of the real Ghostbusters, like the all the different character designs of He-Man and Master Universe. I like the manliness of Fist of North Star, which inspired Araki and Miyashita Akira with JoJo and Sakigake Tokojuku. I like Toriko. It's mainly a bunch of manly anime that inspired me. But what I was getting to is that the way I would draw previously, I basically combined it with muscles. So I haven't shown much of the monstrous looking characters yet, but that's the reason why I draw like these very demonic things and they have like muscles now. Before, they kind of range between like skeletons or very thin, weird stuff. Not many of them had muscles actually. A lot of it's very I don't want to say very 2000s. That's the best way I can put it. A lot of the character designs were very uh not skinny, but not necessarily big either. They sort of just look like regular people with like very angular looking clothes and uh just very dark looking characters. Like something you would kind of not goth enough, but somewhere around there. Like I would say, where it's like I don't think it's hot topic enough. Those drawings are. Uh, How would you feel if the new Hokuto no Ken anime is CG Action Hero 2000? I'd be upset, but my only benefit would be like if it's CG that's like better than what we've seen before. Because Regenesis, like what we saw with Regenesis, that the models are like very detailed, but it just moved like crap. Like they move terribly. And then they couldn't really get away with doing blood or hair explosions because we don't have a model that actually explodes or anything. So we just had to put like blood sprays or like obscure the camera when they fall down or something. I was like, oh god. If it's like the Tekken anime, like Bloodlines, then I'll be okay if it looked like that. Or if I heard the recent Trigun was very expressive, so if it's like Kengan Asura, I'm okay with that somewhat because when it came to Kengan Asura, it was kind of sad because whenever it cut to 2D for random things, I'm like you could do it in 2D. Why aren't you doing it in 2D? Come on. Don't give me that. The muscles are too hard to draw. I know that. I know they're too hard to draw and animate. I know, but other people have done it, and they still do it. Because look at TMS with Baki and Megalobox, which are like the last two D manly things we see. We seen David Production do that with JoJo. Come on, like come on, we could do it. We could do it. So I'm really hoping it's 2D. I just want it to be 2D, please. Like just give me that like good looking 2D. Like I feel like even the people in Toei, they could do muscles. They could do what they want to. Like there's a lot of manly characters in One Piece. Like especially the way it's drawn nowadays, especially when they're outsourcing animation to different people. So it's like it's it'll be great. It'll be good. Like I mean, look at Production IG right now with Kinnikuman. Like I didn't think Production IG had people on staff that could do muscles because I don't even know if they've done any manly anime before. I don't recall because the most I know them for is for Ghost in the Shell, and that was back in the 2000s. So like I saw those designs already in Kinnikuman and the teasers. I'm like, oh, that looks great. I hope Fist North Star looks just as good. Oh, here we go. With, let's see. Miami is asking me the other dreaded question. Big fan, love your videos, but when are you gonna recreate your top 20 manly anime characters? You know what? Maybe I should just like start. Maybe I should just talk about a random female character, well, excuse me, a random manly character, and go from there, and then make it become an actual top 20 list. Because a lot of these things are way overdue, and the reason why it disappeared is because I got discouraged because I was accused of being woke because the way I wrote Ranmaru, and I'm like, yeah, I didn't really write this very carefully, and this was like 2017 or 18, and then I got like very discouraged from continuing the thing after that. But there are a few shows I need to watch again. I need to watch Dear Brother because I never seen Dear Brother and Aim for the Ace. Those two I never seen before, so those are two Dezaki stuff that I need to look into. And it's also been like, oh, it's been a long time since I seen something from Dezaki. So yeah, so I gotta scratch those off the list. Right now, I guess I'll give you a hint for the manly villains. I'm rewatching Rurouni Kenshin right now, the original anime, because the reboot's not in the Kyoto arc yet. Because it didn't occur to me right away, but then I kind of realized Makoto Shishio is a little more manlier than I remembered, and he doesn't seem like it too, because he's a very slim guy, but you can't really help it because like he's burned and covered in bandages. Like he has no muscles anymore. Well, actually, no, he has like the minimum of muscles. Like it's nothing but pure muscles. There is no fat on that guy. He's got like a Bruce Lee mummy body right now. But yeah, like Makoto is more manly than I recall with the whole survival of the fittest theme. And then like there is a lot of honor in how he's upset with the Meiji government that like no, we need a new, stronger government. Because the reboot's not in those episodes yet, or I think they're barely starting. So yeah, so that's one character that's going in there. So yeah, because when it comes to a manly sub, I need to like reorganize that, but I don't think it'll be too difficult compared to the manly villains. Because with the manly villains, I feel more upset with myself because like I don't want to do more than one villain per series, and that's what's really killing me. Because if I did more than one villain per series, then we're gonna get like 4 or 5 Fist of the North Star villains, and maybe like 3 or 4 JoJo villains. And then that I'm like, well, that's not fair for everybody else. Uh, yeah, I don't know. I need to look into like another character, or maybe what I could do is salvage the more manly ones and redo the numbers or something. Or, I don't know. I need to do something with that. I'm upset that it's taken me this long to like finish what I started. But hopefully this year I'll be super like motivated because Kinnikuman, at the very least, Kinnikuman's gonna be here to like cheer me up. So now I'm just hoping that Fist of North Star will do the same. It's like Kinnikuman, like just just give me something, Kinnikuman. Oh, actually, yeah, the Kinnikuman manga has been amazing right now. Just like, oh, the one. Kinnikuman's so good right now. Yo, Hero, by any chance, did you see the Boondocks on Air Lost pilot episode from 2003 by Fox? No, I haven't seen it. Um, I have seen that people have found it, but I haven't looked at it yet. So I did see a few Boondocks episodes back then, but I never never like sat down and watched the whole thing. And I don't know, I never felt that inclined to finish it or like to really watch. It was more like a show that I just watched in passing. I think I usually watched it until the anime came down afterwards. Have you ever played the Yakuza series? The only one that I played is Lost Paradise. Because I downloaded 2 Yakuza games, but I haven't even touched them. I'm sorry, but let me finish reading your comment. Those obnoxious ninjas. Some of the characters in Yakuza have similarities in Fist. Yeah, that's what I've heard. What are your thoughts on Centurions by Jedi Jordan Infinity? Sorry, I haven't watched it either. Sorry, that's one of the Western anime that became a cartoon kind of thing. It's like the middle ground. It's similar to like Ulysses something. There's this other cartoon called that. That's very like American Japanese kind of joint thing. That I need to look into. There's like a bunch of things that I haven't watched or read yet, and like last year was dedicated to that, and I gotta keep doing it for the rest of my life. I think. What are your thoughts on Yu Yu Hakusho by Nostalgic Network? That's another one I need to rewatch because it's been years. I watched Yu Yu Hakusho when it first aired in America in the 2000s. It originally aired on Adult Swim, but I didn't catch it then. I remember a lot of Funimation tapes would advertise Yu Yu Hakusho a lot, so there's one trailer that I'm super familiar with, that's like in my memory. But I do like the anime. It's just been like a long, long time since I've seen it. I could say for certain that Kuwabara is like my dude. It's like we gotta go save Yukina. Urameshi. Look at me, Yukina. Are my muscles big and manly? Like Kuwabara's a man, and oh, wait, how forgot was it go? Kuwabara's a man, a mulberry's a tree. There's something like that. But yeah, because I know the Blu-rays that came out recently, like did some dub changes. Like there's some characters that are been recasted for some reason. I don't know why. Definitely some few line changes, but I know for sure that younger Toguro was like my guy. The manliest, one of the manliest villains ever. Hint, hint. One of them, not. It's like, oh, I got like a, oh, I got like a dog hair in my mouth. Sorry about that. It just floated in there. Ugh. Yeah, Toguro is like the only thing I'm very talentless. The only thing I could do is flex my muscles. Yeah, Toguro was but again, Yu Hakusho is another one where I just like the darkness of it. I like Hakusho way more than Hunter x Hunter. Like I could say that with certainty. Like I don't like Hunter x Hunter all that much. Even though I did see and read a good chunk of it up until like everything behind the elect after the election. I don't know what happens. I'm not worried by spoilers. I don't know. But Hakusho is one that I liked. I do feel that the fandom is mainly more of an American thing. I don't know how it is in Japan. Well, the Hakusho still has to be popular, otherwise we would have gotten the live action thing. I have no inclination to watch the live action. Same thing goes for the One Piece live action. I just like, I don't care. I was more motivated to watch Alita because, well, there is no anime. There's just two OVA episodes and hasn't got anything since then. So like, well, this is the next big thing for Alita Battle Angel. But Yu Yu Hakusho is good. Like I do like the a lot of people will say Chapter Black is where it's at, but I've been saying where it's at too much. Chapter Black is definitely a good arc, but uh, I might like Dark Tournament more just because of Toguro, but I don't know. It's definitely a good show, and I just haven't seen it in a long, long time. I do remember a lot of the Yu Yu Hakusho was one of the earliest manga that I finished, along with the original Yu-Gi-Oh. You still collect figurines? Very little. I haven't collected as much because I recently got I do have like well, this one's close to me, so I guess I could show you this one. Like this is one of the more recent ones that popped out. This is the SH Figure Arts Devilman. This is the 50th anniversary version, which comes with damaged wings. I messed around with it for a little bit. That's one of the recent ones. I do have a Storm Collectibles Baki, but it's like it's shelved right now. It's in a box. And I'm hoping for Yujiro. I'm hoping my order for Yujiro goes through because like I'm nervous because the pre-order sold out. I ordered it like almost as day one, but every now and then I feel like I don't know what if Big Bag Toy Store doesn't like says like we ran out of stock, we can't ship anything to you. Like god damn. I am mad that Storm Collectibles didn't do 1/12 scale Fist of the North Star. Instead, they did 1/6 scale. I might get Cyber Blue, but I don't think it's gonna sell out because he's still available, and I kind of think like he might be one of those figures that just stays on the website forever until it goes on sale. So I might gamble with that. Uh, but no, I haven't really collected anything new. There's been a few things that intrigue me. The last thing I got was Power Princess from Marvel Legends. She's still in the box. I was intrigued to get like I forgot the name that came out, but it was like a Tarzan like character for Marvel that just barely came out like last week. I haven't been to Target recently, so usually when I'm there, if there's like a Sonic character that I haven't gotten, then I usually pick it up. But I've taken a backseat with Turtles because it's sort of like, well, I've taken a backseat in collecting more than anything. Because I think some of the recent stuff were a few GI Joes from Super Seven, but basically it got to the point where Super Seven was too expensive, and I felt like I was buying too much. It was getting to the feel more like a chore, where I'm like, oh, now the next wave came out, I gotta get it before I don't want to miss out on it, and pay like more in the aftermarket. But same thing goes with like Mattel, NECA, because when NECA was mainly Ninja Turtles, but now I'm just sort of like I don't know. I'm kind of content with the main line of characters that I have because I recently got the April, the Casey Jones. Those are the ones I needed badly. Got the Usagi, I got the four turtles, I got the core main villains. Because right now with Ninja Turtles, it's mostly like Mirage and a lot of secondary and C-list characters, which I'm like, I know who they are because I watched the cartoon, but I'm just like, I'm kind of waiting for the next big thing because once they start doing 2003 Turtles, I'm like, I'm back, I'm coming back in. But the other problem is that now all the toys have gotten more expensive. So I just been focusing a little bit more on anime, like with Baki and Devilman that I just showed you. Because I still do have a lot, and I might just get rid of some. I might get rid of like some of the GI Joe classified because what I want more are the cartoon iterations, and Mattel is barely doing that with He Man. Somewhat, they're doing it with their origins, and I'm just like, well, I don't know, like. I'm sort of like on the fence about like toy collecting, uh, because Giada Toys this doesn't treat me also with the Street Fighter line since like it's a much cheaper alternative than Storm Collectibles, especially when well the majority of the characters are like out of print. You can't buy them anymore. So and Giada Toys is like, oh, once Giada Toys start doing more anime, I'm hoping they do more anime stuff in video games. Then I'll be more willing to collect. But yeah, Bearer of the Curse, yo, hello. I'm happy to see your face reveal. So yeah, I guess for some people it is like the first time they see me, but no, I've been on in some places. Yeah, I guess you had to be here since like the 2010s to see my face. Uh, yeah, I still remember like in a much older live stream, some people were surprised, like, "Wait, you're not white." Like, I guess it's not the voice they expected when it came to this appearance. Because I am Hispanic, so I don't know. They assumed I would speak with like a very stereotypical accent or something. I don't know. Um, well, then again, some people say I could sound like Pan Pizza, but that's because we're both in literally in the same state and very close to the same region of like where I guess this is how people our age sound like. But like I'm glad you're happy, like Miami. I don't know. I'm reading it like Japanese when it's like English Miami, like Miami. I actually appreciate if Hokuto no Ken 2 got somewhat rewritten to make a more sensible, better paced story in the remake. Like giving Sachi and other characters more time to shine. Have you heard of No Longer Human is Sad? That guy over there. That's a manga, right? I want to say that I have, but by memory, I don't recall what it looks like. My head is thinking of Ajin, but that's like a different series. Wait, is No Longer Human the zombie one, or is that the zombie one, or am I thinking of a different series? Like, because I don't remember what it's called. I'm getting confused. But yeah, I wouldn't mind if Fist of North Star 2 gets redone because I really feel like Kyle should have been Raul's father instead of like the brother. Because I feel like it's like what are you talking about? That doesn't make sense. Like I don't know. GI Joe beat him up finally showed some new footage. Not sure how I feel though. Oh, the, I remember I was disappointed with the first reveal because it looked like very slow and sluggish and because a lot of people were saying it should have been a shoot 'em up, and I'm like, it should have been a shoot 'em up. um, Instead of like bare knuckle, like it's like Streets of Rage or Ninja Turtles. I don't know. I guess I'll look at it later because I kind of forgot about it. I'd be more excited for like a He-Man or Thundercats beat 'em up. Like I'll be okay with that. I wouldn't mind if they could do a Ghostbusters one too, which I'm like, it wouldn't be fist fighting, but it's something. Oh right, there's the Toxic Crusaders beat 'em up that's supposed to like come out at some point. I totally forgot about that too. I know it might sound weird, but I think the plot of Hokuto Ken 2 is too Kenshiro centered. No, I get what you mean. It's because a lot of the plots, a lot of the twist in part two is about like Kenshiro. Just actually no, like Arzak. No, you can't fight it. He's your brother, Arzak. Everyone's just related to somebody. That's all the twists. That and the Hokuto Soke clan. I'm just like, But if there's a clan and if there's a main branch, then why did Ryukin have to adopt four boys? Why even make them fight to fight the successor? You really have to choose a successor already. There's no need for them to all fight amongst themselves. You only had one job, Ryukin. You're not doing it right. And then there's the sub with Juke, like Juke, what are you doing? It's like Sachi, teach me Hokuto Ryuken. I can't because they led to the calamity that we have right now with the three um I don't remember what I don't know the official name of of the three rulers of like the land of Ashura. Whatever. The Tento arc and the post Kyle arcs are fine. Yeah, okay. Trailer X-Men 90s new series. Yeah, I've seen it. I've seen it in Miami. I'm actually kind of surprised that it's like coming back, but it just makes me upset. I'm like, oh, now I need to finish the first show because I'm like that. I'm not gonna for X-Men. I'm not gonna jump ahead because I'm like, I don't want to get spoiled the original series. Although they did spoil me a little bit with like how it starts. Like, oh, so that happened. Yeah, I need to go back to X-Men. The pre-Princess and Baron arcs are overlooked tearjerkers. Now I know what you mean by Baron. Yeah, okay. Yeah, you mean the final arc of Fist and Strike. Yeah, that was a really good one. That's the only one I remember. Because the Three Princes, like I vaguely remember that. Because when they showed snow on the panel, I'm just like, wait, there's snow? I don't remember this. Hideyuki Tanaka was Terry Mans. Oh, okay. Hideyuki Hori. That's the worst man. Okay. As a fellow Bruce Timm era fan as well, there's some surprises to come in the next Crisis movie. Yeah, because I saw well actually no, don't tell me. Don't tell me anything. Don't tell me anything because I know about Batman Beyond showing up. So like there's gotta be some other stuff then. Like don't tell me. I'm gonna be surprised then. What would make a great crossover with Saint Seiya and why is it the Fate series? Gemini canon or Gemini canon I don't know. I didn't really get into Fate. I didn't like Fate Zero all that much, even though they have like Iskandar. Iskandar was pretty cool. Alexander the Great. In the English dub, it was voiced by Jamison Price, and then in the Japanese, I think it was Akio Otsuka. So it was like a win-win for either language. Um, what would be a good crossover with Saint Seiya? Part of me is thinking Fist of the North Star, just the whole like constellation theme. But I'm trying to think what would be like a good battle showing that goes with it. That's like on that would make sense. Even though I don't like it, like part of me is saying Bleach, but that's because Kubo was like very influenced by Saint Seiya, so I think that would fit better more than anybody. Kenganasha or Baki? Kenny, you know the answer is Baki, man. You don't, you know. Why are you asking a rhetorical question? You know it's Baki for me. Uh, I do feel bad that Kenganasha just feels like Baki light in my perspective, but at the same time, is that I'm okay with it. Like if a new anime, well, there is more anime gonna come out later, so that I will watch. I did read the original manga for it, like all of part one, and I am surprised that it ended the way it did because I didn't expect that to happen. I was like, oh, they actually did it. That was a surprise. But then I don't like the fact that Kengan Omega has like, oh, this character reminds me of this other character. But I'm like, then why did you do that? Then why'd you do the thing? Why'd you do it? Are you just gonna do like get like like freaking Sabo Ace 2.0 kind of stuff. I'm like, ah. But yeah, like Baki Part 1 is like really freaking good. Like I will still say that out of all the parts. But then, New Grappler Baki was, it was okay. It was great. It was still good. Son of Ogre got even better, but then Baki Do happened. And then another Baki Do happened. But now Baki Rahen is actually looking promising so far because the chapters that I stopped reading was just right when Jack and Shinogi were barely gonna start fighting. So I'm just gonna wait for more chapters to build up before I go back to Baki Rahen. Baki Savarisi. Yeah, of course, Baki. Is there any chance for the Blue Sky will ever get an official English release, Bearer of the Curse? Well, Fist of the Blue Sky had a very brief English release in the late 90s and no, actually, no. It didn't exist back then, so it wasn't late 90s. In the mid 2000s, I guess. It was Raijin Comics. There was like 4 or 3 volumes released in English, and that's all we ever got officially from Blue Sky. But maybe once Viz finishes the original Fist of North Star, maybe we could start getting Blue Sky. Um, but I would like if there was a Lost Paradise too, but with Blue Sky instead. That would be different, and that would help Blue Sky a lot because Blue Sky right now just sort of has like a somewhat not exactly notorious, but it doesn't have a good reputation at the moment because we got a CGI anime that doesn't even that is not even a reboot. It's sort of like a pseudo sequel. So like if you're not familiar with the manga, all this is gonna be confusing to you. And then even then, it's sort of like Regenesis, but this doesn't follow the Regenesis manga, not really. So I'm like, it's just like this weird hodgepodge of two different mangas put together. It's like, what are you doing? What are you doing, Regenesis? Like 2018 Blue Sky. What are you doing? And then the 2000s Blue Sky it doesn't look all that good, and then it stops before the good stuff really happens. Like we didn't get Lu Song Woo. Like the best thing about Blue Sky are the freaking pachinkos. That's a sad thing to say. um, I wouldn't mind seeing like an OVA series or like an anime, but I would much prefer them to just like can you guys just do the middle of Blue Sky and all the way to the end, please? Let's give the first 100 chapters. Like we don't need to see that again. I don't care about the Huang Huai Huey or the about that mafia group. I don't know. There's some cool stuff in the beginning of Blue Sky, but not really. It picks up once the other North Star show up with the Lei Fei Yin, like the Ray equivalent. When he starts showing up, then you get Lu Zong Wu. Then the final fight of Blue Sky is actually really really freaking good. Like it's amazing. And then Regenesis manga, like there's some good stuff in there too. I just like I'm just upset that the new anime kind of went its own direction, but then again, it wasn't terrible, but it was kind of rough to watch at times. It's actually a miracle that it looks better than Berserk, but at the same time, it's like it didn't move as well as much as compared to Kengan Asa and compared to Tekken Bloodlines. Like those two animes looked and moved better than what Genesis gave us. Fucking hell. Is Kinnikuman available on YouTube? No. I think only in Japan, but even then, I don't think they have any captions. You would have to look at websites like at Yugen Anime, Any Wave. You would have to look at like unofficial sites because Kinnikuman does not have any official streaming whatsoever. Same thing goes for like Ultimate Muscle. Because currently we only have the dub for Ultimate Muscle, and I'm hoping that Discotech gets the Japanese version. Um, is it possible for Sonic anime to be a thing again, like X of the OVA movie? I hope so, Jose Urbina, because I want to see some traditional 2D Sonic again. Like because the last thing we got was the besides a few animated shorts for like every new game release that we got from the Sonic channel. I want to see something like Sonic Free Riders or like the Sonic CD introduction. Some cool 2D Sonic, and I'm just kind of upset that it's like, how come we never got that? Like, because I didn't want to see 2D Sonic again. I don't know why they don't do it. Because I'm also kind of curious, like, how far the Sonic movies are gonna go. Are they gonna stop at 3, or are they gonna keep going to like 4 and 5 or something? Because the Knuckles show is supposed to come out later this year too. Oh right, yeah, the new action figures of Dig Action. They're gonna be 8 centimeters tall, so I don't know what that in inches. Yeah, I'm hoping like those toys will come out good. Have you ever seen Legend of Zelda animated series? No, I haven't seen it. That was actually before my time, to be honest. Like all the cartoons when well, even though I say I'm a fan of He-Man and Thundercats and Ghostbusters, I only started watching those things like in the like around 2016, 2018. I didn't that's like right before my time. I grew up on 90s cartoons, so I'm not sure if the Zelda and the Super Mario Brothers Super Show were 90s or 80s, but I know for sure I did not catch those growing up. I was aware that they existed, but I never. I don't think I had the channels for them because I didn't really see much of Sonic either. And the few times I caught the '80s Ninja Turtles was always like very random episodes or video rentals. Because I'm kind of shocked that I never seen Extreme Ghostbusters growing up. Because I like how come I never bump into it? Like I never bump into it. But I did bump into like the other stuff that's studio made, like Godzilla, Big Guy and Rusty the Boy Robot, and a little bit of Men in Black. They're here. Oh, look, Merlin's here. Hello. This is from 11:41. What time is it? Holy crap, man! Like that comment was like an hour ago. Oh shit. I am behind on this, and I kind of need to end this like within 30 minutes, I think. The hero we didn't deserve, but the one who wants who needed it. What's up, dude? Hello, Merlin. Like, like, congrats on your. Actually, are you married already, or that hasn't happened yet? I don't remember. Well, congrats, anyways. I still need to watch like your recent. I don't know if it's a podcast or like because you uploaded something with a couple of other friends. I don't know what it is yet. It was like a day or two ago. Power Worship. Ralph seems one of my favorite tracks in Ken's Rage. Yeah, that's a good one. Uh, like I'm really into like Protector and Go One's Way. Uh, yeah, like that and the Seven Scars. There's a lot of good tracks in Ken's Rage. Why not? Why didn't they just redub the original North Star and have the same English dub cast from Lost Paradise game, Jose Urbina? I've been looking into that, and it seems likely because, well, no, I think honestly it's probably just money, because it's actually a miracle that these are close to me. It's actually a miracle that we're getting these on Blu-ray and then dubbed finally after like so many freaking years that they've been available in Italy and France. I'm pretty sure it's a budget thing because I don't think anyone's willing to dub like 152 episodes of an older anime, or even if it is from scratch. Uh, because I don't think like because if they're gonna dub anything, if the new anime is gonna be like the good reboot that I want it to be, then I rather they dub that, since that will catch like more people's attention. Raul sending his cronies to go to torture Fudo's children makes the everybody loves Raul thing in the Hotel Cantu really weird. Yeah, yeah. There's a lot of questionable things that are, well, actually, it's not questionable. It's like the very evil things that he does in part one, and then it doesn't make sense in part two. I'm like, well, Raul is the lesser of two evils, I guess, when compared to Kaio. I don't know. Knuckles live action trailer disappointed me. He's facing generic soldiers. Yeah, I know what you mean. Takao father being a random bully alley. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I seen the tweets and the memes for that. I'm just, oh, what's he doing there? We're getting Sonic Adventure stuff just with pure. Actually, that would kind of work. Like we could just have Knuckles do the Sonic Adventure stuff by himself. It doesn't necessarily have to be. No, it doesn't necessarily have to be Sonic the one that saves the day for that. Because the whole idea, like, we could still get Super Knuckles. Like, come on, that's a canon thing. We could get Super Knuckles, and he could be half his storyline with call, and like, yeah, he'd be the one to save chaos. There you go. Just that's an expert thing, like a masterpiece of work right now. Like, have Sonic Adventure, but just Knuckles. Dragon Ball Diamonds coming around fall. City Hunters, Angel Dust. Going with the trends of remakes, I think it's getting a part one remake for Baki would be neat. Yeah, that'd be great. I would like to see because I was really excited seeing all the Baki part one flashbacks and Son of Ogre. It was like, oh, it's from part one. DB Kakarot game failed. Super Saiyan 3 again seems useless. How could it lose to Super Saiyan 2 Vegeta? I'm actually more curious about the English dubcast that would be in Daima, though, who would either be a return or there will be any new blood. Mm, I don't see them changing the dubcast unless like some actors retired. Because ever since I forgot what movie it was. I think Resurrection F or no. Ever since Battle of the Gods, I think that's when they started bringing back the original voice cast, just for the sake of saying it's the original voice cast. I've returned for this movie, red carpet treatment and everything. Because prior to that, when they did Dragon Ball Kai, they recasted like Oolong and 18 and a couple of others, but they just brought them back for like current stuff, including Super. Yet for some reason, Tiffany Vollmer didn't come back for Bulma. I don't know why. They just left Monica Rial stay as Bulma. How many 12:40 a.m. Like how many comments am I behind? Because I saw like 11. Okay, I'm not too far behind. Let me try to do this really fast. Do you think the Samurai Jack is just Kenshiro with a sword? Not exactly. Like, I do feel that they're both heroic characters, but I feel Samurai Jack maybe has way more honor than he has more Bushido. I feel like Jack has more traditions than Ken, and I feel like that because of those traditions, Jack has more like trouble when it comes to or feels more obligated to help people or something. They both of them will help anyone in need. That's a given. They're both kind, compassionate people. But I just feel like Samurai Jack is the one that's more like more of a wanderer and a loner. Maybe more of a loner than Ken. Maybe because I mean Samurai Jack doesn't even have like a love until like the very end of the series. So I want to say that Jack might be a bit more dedicated than Kenshiro. He definitely has like a little more strive because I gotta save. He's like the only person that can oppose a tyrant. So wow, and Fist of North Star, there's been other allies. But then again, Jack also has. I don't know. Maybe they are. It's like I can't make a good answer. Which Dragon Ball character do you think is the most manly? Let's see, Tien or Piccolo, in my opinion. After Part 7, I lost interest in JoJo, Bearer of the Curse. Um, the manly character is Piccolo and Tien are definitely up there. I don't think I have a better answer than that. I was talking about this with ZNC3 like on the other stream, but I know for sure I could say that 16 is the most stoic character of Dragon Ball, like by far. Uh, yeah, I think it's Piccolo and Tien. I want to say like Goku, like up to a certain point. Like I feel like Goku stopped being manly once, maybe somewhere around Boo. I think that's where the manliness stopped. Because he was definitely like absurdly manly during like when he fought Frieza. He was like completely serious, like oh shit. But then again, like Super Saiyan 3 was like a pretty like because Goku does become like dead focused when he's in Super Saiyan 3, like no nonsense that attitude. I don't know. I feel like Goku like has some masculinity in there. It's just that it's kind of weird because Dragon Ball has more like cosmetic manliness than like spiritually manly. On Holy Mayhem, are we ever getting a Blu-ray for New Fist and North Star? I think there is a Blu-ray, isn't there, by Sentai Filmworks? Or no? Or do we only have a DVD for that? No, actually, that might only be a DVD. I'm not sure now. Because I know Legends of the Dark King got on Blu-ray. I'm not sure about New Fist, so you might be right about that. Uh, the thing is, like, Sentai Filmworks owns New Fist and sending for Dark King, but I feel like if Discotek re-released them, they would probably be better quality than whatever Sentai has. Who are some female characters you've never been interested in despite their popularity? Tifa, I guess that's one. Tifa and Rainbow Mika. Like I know it's not anime, but those are the ones where like I don't see what's the big deal. uh, um, Trying to think of another character that's like usually whatever characters like the anime waifu, like I just don't and I don't see it. Like, cause I know like one of the ones right now is like the rapid girl from My Hero Academia, like whatever they don't care. I forgot I know it was a recent one, but I don't know. Oh, Yamato from One Piece, like Kaido's son slash daughter. So I'm like, I don't see what's the big deal with Yamato. I'm just like, Yamato's just okay. Like I don't see why everyone's so crazy about her. Like why everyone's so horny about Yamato. About like, oh, Yamato's gonna be a straw hat. I'm like, why? I don't see what's so hot about her. To me, it's just Yamato's just Yamato. Like right now, I'm just like, but like right now in Egghead, like Nico Robin looks really cool with the jacket right now. um, Downfall of JoJo after part three, like in a way it did because the manliness did go away in terms of visuals. Because in the manga, part four still had the manly stuff like in the beginning, but then the art style changed into Araki's like to Araki style. Let's just put it that way. It was no longer Buron. It was no longer Hara style. Now it's Araki style. Uh, Reg, yo. Oh no, it's someone else. It's not to me. Part three, Jotaro was the manliest. Yeah, I would say it was. Um, like man, well, I think Jonathan is probably the manlier character, but I do like Jotaro in part four. Like it very like much more wise and composed. But yeah, part three is where all the manly stuff is for Jotaro. Part six had good moments with him too, and then Jolene like really stole the show for me when it came to like manliness. So did Foo Fighters, although I don't think Foo Fighters was arms were as big as the manga. I think her arms are a little more bigger there. I'm guessing I'm in the minority that like Vinland Saga, but I liked it more for the plot and characters. I only read the manga. Though. Yeah, Marlon. There's only like a very few. I don't know if you're still around because this tweet, 11:57, and it's already an hour. Yeah, it was almost like an hour ago when you messaged that. Oops, I'm sorry. Yeah, because there's very few people that actually are they're very mature about Vinland Saga that actually know why it's good. So yeah, I would say like we're in the right age group that should like Vinland Saga. The only reason the teenagers are getting into Vinland's because it's one of the more newer anime that's coming into their like feeds. Uh, Whatever. Oh, there's a tweet. Okay, like I need to look for that then. I'll look for the tweet when I can. That way I can screenshot it. Then like confirmed. I like both Manly and Fabulous JoJo, but yeah, I like them. I completely understand that it's a drastic change. But when Part 89 animes realized you could give them a chance in 9 years or so, I don't know. Like maybe there's something else to watch. If Netflix is still a thing by the time those JoJo parts come out, then maybe I'll just watch it when I'm like eating when I'm eating lunch or breakfast or something. Uh, you ever see a character that had a that was from by Joe and Jalapeno? You ever see a character that has a suitable answer for peace in any manga? I usually get disappointed. Oh, you mean stuff like Vash? I don't know. Or Edward? Well, Edward's not. Well, Edward's a little bit pacifistic, even though he's a little more prone to action. Most shows like sound like good ingredients. Villain Saga being weird, the most Christian manga ever is kind of funny, especially the Manifest Destiny sub with all right, trying to conquer America. Yeah, especially when we need to find a new land that's like that's for everybody, and then like ooh, yeah. Once we got to the Native American stuff, I'm just like, oh no, because I really wish that he didn't show that the author didn't show the prophecy that he didn't have that vision about like oh shit like the Trail of Tears and World War II and all this stuff's gonna happen it's going to happen. I'm like no not now now I know where the series is gonna end. Then like fuck take that away. Long hair Canute is literally Shin from Hokuto no Ken. Oh, right, right, yeah, yeah, right, yeah. Because Canute is going like through this Griffith phase, the shitting Griffith kind of thing right now. I'm like, have you ever watched Red Chainsaw Man? No, I haven't looked into Fire Punch either because I don't want to get inspired by that author when I start writing like my dark hero stuff. I'm like, I want to be clean and say like, oh, were you inspired by Chainsaw Man or Fire Punch? Nope, I never read them. Not because I don't hate them, but I don't want to be influenced. I don't want my own creativity to be tainted anymore by someone else's work. Like it still happens from time to time, but I just felt that those two series are a little too similar to what I'm thinking. Although the character that I thought about for like some fire ended up becoming like a different thing. So I don't know. Maybe I'll watch it. Yeah, they also voiced Mr. Satan. Yeah, they had some parallels. Who would win, the original Devilman versus Toei Animation Devilman? Probably the Toei one, maybe. Because that one's more campy, and I feel like campy's like almost an automatic win of like, yeah, I'm gonna win no matter what because we're gonna keep our moral and spirits high, our morale high. What series do you think will finish first, Berserk or Hunter x Hunter? Maybe Hunter x Hunter. Maybe. I just feel because like with Berserk is sort of more like I feel Togashi will like find a way to end it quicker as opposed to Berserk because I kind of feel like what's going on in Hunter x Hunter right now. I don't think there's any like end game to do with Hunter x Hunter, and in contrast to Berserk, which has like there's stuff that needs to be addressed. We still have God Hands to deal with. We still have Griffith to deal with. We gotta rescue Casca. Guts needs to recover. He needs to find his spirit again. Like Guts is going through hell right now, man. We need things to do for Berserk. I'm on an online drawing course. So I've been practicing a lot, mostly on anime, which is admittedly very fun. I don't know. I'm like, I don't. I feel like I might have to do practice my anatomy, but at the same time, like, I just want to do whatever. Hello, anime hero. I've been watching you since high school. I'm 23 now, and I still enjoy your content by Rat Boy Mickey. Oh, thank you, man. Yeah, I got in a few comments like that before, which always shocks me. I'm like, yeah, I've been doing this for more than 10 years, so that's bound to happen. That some people grew up on me. It's like, oh, that's a thing. But then again, I could say that I did grew up on Nostalgia Critic and Angry Video Game Nerd, because back then they were like in their prime. Because I rarely see them nowadays, but it's like every now and then there's usually like one or two good videos they make in a year. I'm like, ah, yeah, that's a good one. Hopefully you haven't felt that way about me, because I know I can still make some good ones. It's just gotta like I don't know, find the time. I'm currently watching Star Wars Clone Wars micro series from 2003. Very interesting. Yeah, that's pretty cool stuff. That's another one of like that was Gendy's art that I like looking at. Like I actually saw that when it premiered on those like brief intervals on Cartoon Network. What do you think about the new Ghostbusters movie coming out in March by Tezcatli Pokasura? I kind of like the fact that they're making an original Ghost that we're getting away from the Gozer stuff already because I'm more excited by that one, but at the same time I'm kind of feel a little worried that there's a lot of nostalgia pandering that we're getting these very old men back to these movies, and it almost sounds like a parody. Like whenever you see an old cartoon, they make like, oh, on the next Rambo 48 or something like that, and like old man Rambo, and it's there, and it's they would make fun of the fact that it's like, oh, it's a senior citizen, yet they're still making movies, but that's what's happening right now. And I'm like, I don't know how to feel about that. I'm sort of like, you can let them like rest, man. We can do other things. We don't have to like uh I mean, Ernie Hudson still looks great, but everyone else is sort of like, hey, we gotta like, I don't know, can you give them a break? Come on, they don't need to like. Same thing goes for like for Harrison Ford with the hair in recent Indiana Jones, man. It's like some of these like senior citizens, man, they just need to like just let them rest, man. Let them rest if they want to. Like if they want to act, that's good for them. If they want to keep doing it. That's just like what happened. Did I lose connection for a little bit? It said like restarting, and then it said you're live. What was that about? Where you can get Otokujuku manga? I can't find one copy anywhere on eBay. That's surprising. Well, if you're looking for manga, they're all gonna be in Japanese, so there's no English release. Well, there is a digital way to read it on Manga Planet. It's called a Charge Men's School. If you're interested in that, but you need to have like a subscription, and I think it's a pretty hefty fee. You would have to look at if you can't. Are you sure you couldn't find any on eBay? Like, what you could do is type in the. You could go to like Wikipedia, highlight the Japanese title and post it on eBay. Maybe you'll find the volumes that way. But uh, I'm not really sure where else to look. I want to say something like shit. What was the name of the site? Like, I don't know if Hobby Link Japan could help you. That should be another place. Hobby Link Japan, maybe Ami Ami. Um, I forgot the other places, but there's sites out there that you should be able to find it. And then when roam around more than Sesshomaru. I haven't even seen like freaking like Inuyasha's. Uh, the battle damage in Genesis is very bad. All look very shallow. Look more like competition who could get at the characters naked first. The martial arts battle. Sorry, a lot of questions, but this is a Q&A, so it's okay if you don't go through my questions low. Yeah, it's fine. Why am I zooming in? I don't want to. I didn't even know I could zoom in. Said Stratton, I recently finished reading the Heaven Challenge Olympics of Dogojuku. Didn't know Jackie's death was graphic from the pachinko. Yeah. It's and the pachinko is very ceremonious. It's very like Raoul kind of thing. But yeah, in the manga, there's like it's much more like brutal. It's like but it's still like a manly death. Yeah, because I recently reread the whole manga, and yeah, that Olympics arc is really up there. I think Otokojuku might have moved up higher for me in terms of favorites. Maybe in the top five now. The reboot of Rurouni Kenshin had an okay story and pacing, but the art direction is very poor. Oh, and kind of claustrophobic. The fight scenes look good, but the other stuff is no depth. Wow, I didn't think it'd be like that because I heard like similar like negative reception for Shaman King's reboot, and I thought it would be a little bit better. Please just read the research on Doomguy because I reckon Doomguy is the most manly Western character ever made. Are you excited for any games this year? Well, the Yonko Pulo. Not really. I can't think. I mentioned all the beat 'em ups. That's the only ones that I care for at the moment. Because RoboCop, Rogue City, like it's only on the PS5. Well, modern systems which I don't have. But I'm like, I don't see like, did it really have to be in the PS5? Because a lot of the game is mainly just like it's almost a point and click game, really. When it comes to, I really love the story mode for RoboCop Rogue City, so that was pretty much my highlight in terms of new games. I don't know, like you kind of can't think of anything. I haven't seen anything pop in my feed that I'm like excited for. You should get into Warhammer 40K. There's a lot of manly characters in that universe from Sim Racer. I would have to look into that because I did hear about it. I know there's like an animated thing for it too. Chapter Blacksmith heard YuYu Hakusho arc, Unholy Mayhem. I'm thinking of doing a Chapter Black arc, one of the Young Justice arcs for my YuYu Hakusho Teen Titans pick. Ah, that's surprising. Kazar, yeah, that's the character I'm thinking about when it came to the Tarzan theme Marvel Legend character. What's the most expensive? Your most expensive figure? It's probably like one of the Motu classics, or maybe a Storm. Actually, no, I know what it is. I think it's the. I think you should be able to see it. It's probably the. Oh wait, I forgot. I'm not connected. Yeah, it's probably this Chun Li maybe because from Storm Collectibles, like this thing goes like for a lot of money right now. Well, I'm not giving her up. It could be the turtles too, since like the movie turtles are like really hard to come by. Same thing goes for like the Toka and Razar, and maybe the Super. Well, no, I don't think so. Super Shredder, maybe these that are fine. The most expensive stuff would probably be like these. It would probably be these two, like the Motu movie for Skeletor and He Man, and a bunch of. All of these figures would probably be expensive since they're from the late 2000s to early 2010s. Most of them are. Oh yeah, you can't really see all of them because it's dark as hell. But yeah, this would be the. I think the Storm Collectibles Chun Li might be the most expensive one. or maybe some of my SH figure arts because I do have like a Kinnikuman. Actually no, this one too, like the Axe Battler, like that's the guy in the blue trunks from Golden Axe. He's expensive too because like he's in big demand. Because they re-released him in a reissue, but now he's more expensive because it comes with extra skeletons that you probably didn't want, and not those skeletons either because the skeletons it came with are like gold. Actually, let me check my battery. Yeah, it's probably should reconnect again. You can see some of my old DVDs there on that shelf. I'm confused about Sakigaki and Jackie's death. Why did he kill himself? No, I think he was already dying. It was just a case of like I'm trying to remember. He already had a mortal wound, so he just destroyed. He basically just like destroyed himself in a way as a form of manliness. It's just a manhood thing where he had to show Momo that that this is the path of like head of the 30 years that you gotta follow through on these things. So he just wanted to like die with like proudly in combat. Thank you for your Devilman videos. We need a Devilman Lady reboot by Nick Doyle. Well, you're welcome. Yeah, I need to go back into Devilman stuff because Crybaby is what a lot of people want to see, but I could probably throw them a bone of some sort. But yeah, like there's definitely a lot of Devilman things, a lot of Goni Guy in general that I gotta look into because I need to reread the original Cutie Honey. It's been like I need to rewatch Cutie Honey in general. It's been like a long time for a lot of things. The three Rashos of Asura. Oh, that was a while ago. Jackie was already dead. Only Tokuchuku's spirit was moving him. He decided to dispose of his body so it wouldn't shame the other students. Yeah, Kengan, but they walked back to the ending of Asura and revive. Oh, what? What do you mean they revive him? Why did they revive him? Oh my god, really? Now Kengan Omega shit. It's Kengan Omega's ruined now. Uh, you think we'll get a full anime adaptation of Berserk whenever the story eventually finishes? Guts of Doom 99. I think at that point we'd probably get a live action Berserk movie series or something. Maybe by that point we'll be like, yeah, live action anime, it's a normal thing now. Like it's 2040. Let's do Berserk. Like this tale from the 90s. It's like that. People still love to this day. It's Berserk Day, everybody. Maybe that'll happen. Nobody knows when the new Fist and North Star is coming out, Reg. I don't think so. Oh, I think I'm almost caught up. Oh shit, no, I'm not. I'm going this fast. Soundtracks might suck. The new Fist and North might. Which Raul hair color do you like? Prefer the dark hair of Raul, says Stratton. They're probably gonna go for the blonde in the new stuff, maybe because that's what's supposed to be manga accurate. But it's because of the anime that I prefer the black, the dark skin, the black hair look. That I don't know, you would call that like Black Moreno or the one of the two. But that's because of the 80s anime, but it wasn't meant to be like that color, I don't think so. But then again, like a lot of like modern anime are kind of like hesitant of showing dark skinned characters with black hair. I don't know why it's so black hair in general, it's like so rare nowadays because like if you look at 70s anime, a lot of the main characters are just brown skin and black hair. Like a lot of them are, but nowadays it's like you'll be lucky if you can even get black hair. Because if you look at One Piece, like everyone's skin tone has gotten fucking light. Like not everyone was dark skinned, but everyone was tan. But now everyone's like light as hell. And to me, it felt really awkward because I was looking at one of the manga cover pages which had a bunch of girls in the bikini, and I realized all these girls are like very white skinned. There's no like variation of skin tones whatsoever. It's like, I don't mind a little, different little color here and there. A little bit, give some variety. Especially when Oda like does like a lot of pink haired girls. I'm like, come on, Oda, not every new girl has to have pink hair, man. Let's tone it down. Takamura is manly, yes he is. Vinland Saga is awesome, yeah. Wonder Hotel no Ken 2 will be a new anime. I wouldn't mind if it did. I need to find Sakigake Otokojuku stage play. I've seen the movie. I need to check the play out from the trailer I saw on YouTube. I didn't even look for that or even try looking for it. But I don't know. I'm not really a big fan of stage plays because I know Fist of North Star had a musical also. What are your thoughts on One Piece right now? The Mother Fur. I think I'll save that for the very end because I mentioned that a little bit earlier. If I could find a volume of Tokujuku manga, they're hella expensive. Oh, I don't know. Like, sorry about that. James Earl Jones would be a great live action actor for Raoul. Look up the Riddle of Street, Riddle of Steel clip from. Yeah, I know. I've seen Conan the Barbarian personal account. I know what you mean. The Riddle of Steel, and then the. Oh yeah, I don't have the toy, but I do have the Conan from the end of the movie, or almost the end of the movie. I don't have the Thulsa Doom's demigod snake. That's one I've been wanting to get, but I don't know. I haven't really been in the mood to collect toys recently. Yeah, like come to me, child. Then the girl jumps in. Warhammer 40K was very manly, but very be careful because it's a never-ending rabbit hole of a franchise. Oh, I'm surprised your anime figures are not your most expensive. Yeah, they're probably not because I think it comes down to demand. Because I do have like some Kinnikuman and Lupin and Fujiko, but I don't think they're that in demand to some for some people. Maybe the Kinnikuman ones, because Lupin and Fujiko became expensive now because now you can't even find them. But then again, like I feel like they could be updated because their skin tone is very like beige. It's not beige; it's almost like yellow. Like it could have been done better because they never made Goemon and they only made Zenigata and Jigen as exclusives. So I'm like I don't know what's up with that. Are you cool with dark humor? It depends. I need to get the figure art Street Fighter Chun Li. I like that blue better than the re-release of Street Fighter 6. You can also get the Jada Toys Chun Li. Like that's like it's based on Street Fighter 2, so her face is a little different, but you know it's still like a good toy. Can't wait till until modern anime focused YouTubers get into Fist of North Star and Kinnikuman. I would love to see two spooky power scale Hokuto no Ken or see Tekken make a discussion about. I don't know. I don't think I like that. I wouldn't talk about those things at all. But I'm just saying like. Well, then again, it could be like a JoJo thing where now everyone talks about Fist of North Star, which is gonna be sort of like a thing like, isn't this what you always wanted? I'm like, I don't know anymore. But I definitely want to talk about characters for Fist of North Star, like and like more of the series, because I want to know what the reboot is gonna, what the new anime is gonna be before I review the original anime, because I kind of want to have like knowledge of the few episodes and see what it looks like and compare it to the old one. It can tell Muta passed away in 2021, so in 70 years would Guts be in the public domain of 2091? No, I don't think so. I think it depends on the. Actually, I'm not sure. I don't know how that works for Japan, because I know right now we're getting a bunch of Steamboat Willies and Pooh Bears, but I don't know. Oh, I caught up. I actually caught up. That's amazing. Uh, yeah, there's 8 people left, so I guess I'll make another 5 minutes or so. Because actually, you know what? Let me go to the bathroom. I'll be right back. All right, I'm back. Let's see. How much do I keep this going? Uh, Actually, not even top chat is coming out. I don't know why does it go away. Live chat or I don't know what's wrong with these chat settings. I have to. Hopefully, it's not like a recurring thing. Uh, you don't like too spooky and techy and Hokutomania in Japan in '80s had some pretty cringe moments as well. Like Karate Apocalypse being a carbon copy. Yeah, yeah. I talked about a little bit of the manga. I didn't read the whole thing, but no, I don't bother watching like many anime YouTubers to be honest. I don't know. A lot of them just feel like very juvenile. I kind of don't like the way they are. They just kind of come off as a little immature and obnoxious to me. uh, that's the best way I can put it. When the Hokuto no Ken anime comes out, we'd love to see modern feminists on oh god on Twitter bitch about Yuria being a damsel in distress and Yuta owning sex slaves. Get ready to take pics of the cringe compilation. Versus like, oh, I don't know. I know people reacted to that when they any Twitter discovered Berserk. I don't know. I don't really go out of my way to like look for that. Let's put it this way. So I'm not really gonna care if that happens. I'd rather for it to not have any controversy, but at the same time, I'm like, if it happens, it happens. I don't care. It's not gonna ruin my enjoyment. I stick to the smaller guys like you regarding anime. Well, thank you. But hopefully, I won't stay small forever, or at least just big enough where I could be like, where I could just express my points. Just big enough for that, or just big enough where I can like make the videos that I want to make because there's still a bunch of characters and some show retrospectives that I want to address, or have fun with it. How far do you think that Kensho will get into Dragon Ball? See, like stuff like that. I don't necessarily bother look into because I never cared for like who would win in a fight type of things or like the parallels and stuff. Like I know the curiosity because the same thing happened with I think Kensho can make it like maybe to Saiyan Saga, like against maybe against Nappa and Vegeta. Like I'm not sure about I think Saiyan Saga would be like a good place to stop. Maybe some of Frieza's henchmen, but like Frieza himself and Super Saiyan Goku, I think that'd be too much. But at the same time, uh, no, maybe you know what I'm gonna say up to like maybe up to Goku and Frieza. I think that's like the most because a lot of people would say like, oh, but they could blow up planets. Well, that's not necessarily true. Everyone has the potential to destroy the planet, but even then, when Frieza tried, like he was hesitant to do so because he would be caught in the explosion. And then I know Frieza did survive the explosion, but we don't know if that's because of Trunks' interference with the timeline. That's the whole reason why Frieza lived. But the thing is, like, when people say they're planet destroyers, everyone gets my head automatically thinks, well, if they shoot the center of the Earth, of course it's going to explode. It's not like if they punch something that like a whole continent's gonna disappear or something like that. Um, I want to say that Kenshiro could take the hits at least from characters from that point. I don't think there's been like a specific object that can stop them or that they can't destroy. Well, then again, a lot of people are gonna bring up that in when they're trying to chase after Jiro, they attacked this door and the door did not get destroyed. The door to his lab. I think Kenshiro could handle like anything Dragon Ball stuff, and like once it gets to like the Z portion, I think somewhere between Saiyan and like the Namek stuff or against Frieza, I think maybe he can handle that. Because I mean, you still have the Muso Tensei stuff, so I don't know. I'm not sure like if once the androids show up. Um and sell. I don't know how that's gonna work out. I don't know, or unless you want to believe that Kenshin was actually like super fast and super strong as like like end of Z stuff. I don't know. Do you think Hajime no Ippo and PS6 will come out before the new? Oh, you before the new? I don't know what you mean by PS6. The PlayStation 6 before the new. And no, you mean something else. I don't know what you're talking about. I don't think Hajime no Ippo will like come back this year, if for an anime at least. Uh, I guess that's why I come back to your channel. It's not the generic anime tuber perspective that's so common now. Yeah, I guess. PS6 might come out 2026. You don't mean the PlayStation 6, do you? Hello, Nanda Gopal Gopakumar. Not power scaling, emoji ranking. I don't know. I don't understand power scaling. Here's the thing. I don't understand what power scaling or power creep is. And here I am writing like my own little like battle shonen like series. I'm just like, I don't know what that is. I don't care. I just know that friendship power is real to me. It's like a lot of people will look down like, oh, it's friendship. I'm like, no, it is friendship because Kinnikuman is the answer to friendship power. Like, no one else triumphs Kinnikuman in that. Dragon Ball's power system and scaling is the most flawed, I guess. Well, the thing is with Dragon Ball, it's like as a battle shonen, its structure is very archaic, mainly because everyone has the same move sets. Anyone could potentially learn each other's moves, and there's no real significance about like powering it up. Like there is no like, well, what's the benefit of like there is no unique benefit aside from physical prowess increase, and that's like every character, almost every character, whatever like latent unlocked ability they have. So it is difficult for Dragon Ball to like come with compelling fights and super try by doing things, but Dragon Ball's reached to the point where all you really need is a lot of physical strength and ki, and like and some transformations. You'll be fine. You don't have to worry about it if the enemy uses like, well, I guess at this point I don't know how relevant Manchibu is because whenever he tries to show up, they get rid of him. Because I was gonna say, well, the only thing that can stop Dragon Ball characters at this point is magic, but I'm like, well, the magic's not doing anything anymore. Or something like that. Do you think they'll ever remake the Devilman manga? Also, I've been subscribed to you for years. I love your channel, bro. 100%. Like hugs. Thank you, King Godzilla. You mean like a new Devilman anime or because it sort of is a manga reboot, but it's sort of like just updated artwork. It's the manga called Geki Man. Because Gonagai, it's basically a behind the scenes slash autobiography of the Devilman manga and what Gonagai was doing at the time. You find out a lot about Gonagai, about why he became a mangaka and why he wanted to do like a serious manga instead of like comedy all the time, and the things he fought for what was allowed in the magazines in those days or what he couldn't show. And there's a lot of updated artwork when it comes to Devilman, and then he explains what he was feeling as he was making those chapters. But as a new anime, I don't know. It's been like something should have come out like 2 years ago in 2022, but nothing happened for the 50th anniversary. So I guess we're waiting for the 55th in 2027, 2028. I forgot what year. Uh, Hello, anime hero from the unorthodox Leslie Core. Uh, Love you, motherfucker. Well, thank you. uh, I'm sorry. Kenjo-san stands on lava, but struggle to break a prison cell in Shinho. Yeah, I know. To me, that was a dumb moment. But then again, like same thing happened to Dragon Ball characters from the Chasing Thunder Jiro. They couldn't break down that lab door because people mentioned like they blasted the door down and the door was not destroyed. What is that door made out of? What are androids made out of? Because they couldn't. But then again, like Trunks was able to destroy them in his timeline, so I don't know. That Jiro was able to make like characters stronger than Frieza like in his lab. I was like, what? What do you mean you could do this? Like, People say characters from One Piece are continent destroyers. It's super annoying comparing different power system and our body. No, it's that there's technically Eneru is the only like continent potentially continent destroyer. Maybe Blackbeard with the black hole, but well, then again, Whitebeard might also be because he can cause tsunamis. Uh, he can cause tsunamis with the quake fruit. He could upset. He could literally destroy the world with that. Um, it's mainly the ancient weapons that are the continent destroyers, not necessarily the characters themselves. So then again, in One Piece, you also got to remember that you have characters that can be killed by guns and swords. The majority of the big names were killed by getting shot by a bullet. You know, an ordinary bullet, not even a hockey infused bullet. It's just a bullet. Because at that point, they're like that. They're that weakened that could actually happen, which makes more sense. And then in Dragon Ball Super was like, oh, when your guard is down, I could snipe you. Like, fuck that. Story Hope no Ken would have been much better if it was not released on a weekly basis. So many interesting characters killed off too soon. Yeah, I don't know. I feel part of the benefit is that how like fast and incredible it moves because of the sacrifices and the fact that it was weekly. Like Tetsuo Hara did suffer, but man, it was like it was good stuff that he made. There's no way Kenshiro can be Vegeta and Nappa. Even saying Radix is a bit of a wank in him. Vegeta just tries to toy the plan with a Galley gun. What is Kenshiro's response? The Muso Tensei. That's it. I mean, like that's all I gotta say. And that's also the reason why I don't care because at the same time, it's like, well, is Saiyan biology different from humans? So can Kenshiro even press their pressure points? Will that even work? Because Kenshiro has to use ki to even put to even inject it into Vegeta, but can Vegeta overpower it with his own ki? So, there's stuff like that, and that's the reason where there's a lot of a lot of like oddities. There's a lot of probabilities that affects the outcome. Like I'm not really sure because if it's the North Star, they say their body becomes hard as steel when it comes to anger, but at the same time they can supposedly beat through the steel. That's the descriptions they say. Like we don't know like if any character gets hit by Nanto Seiken, will that automatically cut anything? Like will that chip away other bodies? Like I don't know. Like I don't know how strong it's. I don't want to say it's inconsistent, but the durability of anime characters like varies all over the place. Like in One Piece, there's like a lot of characters that should have died. They don't die. It's like because I can't necessarily remember like how big a crater is for a Dragon Ball character or how fast they move. Because I know for sure I want to say they could handle like probably saying stuff. Uh, Let me think, because I would also have to check the manga, but then again, I'm like, why am I putting effort into this? Like, this is something I don't care about. Because I could think about like when Nappa, well, when he arrives, he blows up like the whole like that whole city that he lands on just by raising his fingers and keys. He knocked Tien's arm flying off, or because I'm thinking like Nappa would probably be like Rao level for Ken, but then again, I don't know, like if like how powerful is Muso Tensei? Like, but also like since Kensho's a successor, could he have done other things? He could just like Heaven's Impalement everybody. Even if he can't find the pressure points, it's gonna strike all the pressure points. So I don't know. So, like I don't know like how fast is Kenshiro? Like, like Kenshiro can fly, that's true, but or can he? Because can he levitate in the air like when he fought against Raul? He had like a big hang time when he fought there. And then like how does he orbit himself when he was fighting against Kyle to get rid of the get rid of that void space thing? I don't know. He just did things. Like how is Kenshiro like powered by manliness? Can he do incredible feats? I don't know. Just go nuts with it. Friendship power didn't help Ray, no, because he wasn't Kinnikuman. Because the only thing that I don't know about is when it comes to like shonen seniority would be a Rini Kakero. Like, how advanced is Rini Kakero actually? Like, how influential and important was it? Because I really don't know. Because I only seen one video talk about Rini Kakeru, and but even then he's not providing like sources. Like, well, where are your sources from? Yujo Power, yeah. Yeah, Boon does pretty much nothing. It's super. I like the process of Hunter x Hunter. It's really good framework, like RPG game. Hokuto no Ken is not as bad as people make it out to be. I think it's kind of bad in terms of like family history and how it kind of affects that and the lack of originality, really, because everyone just feels like a copy of another character. That and the it's mainly the lore. That it's the fact that the lore is very convoluted and there's no explanations to some things. Like, what is like again adding this to DBZ conversation? Okay, so what is the aura of the god of battles? Like, what is that? Like, what does it do? Is it a counter? Is it like could he counter the galley gun with that? Like, what does it do? Like, can it weaken a penny opponents? Does it sap their key? What does it do? How does it work? It just works like King Crimson. Crop Circle Pictures. How's your manga coming along? Well, it's not really a manga, but it is very anime influenced. Um, I've been writing a bunch of it more. I wrote more than 40 chapters already. I'm almost at 50, and I kind of want to keep going for like maybe 60 something before I start drawing a page because there's like I want to complete like an actual arc, you know. Because I wrote in, I guess this would be 2 or 3 arcs by this point. I'm like, I want to write at least this one good stopping point and then write a little bit afterwards where I could try my hand with other characters because I want to do that. So, but what I should be doing is drawing like a few random illustrations just to show you that, yeah, let me just put up a little sequence of stuff. I don't know. Feels when you will never get a pure manga accurate Devilman. That's probably what's gonna happen at this point because like I don't think we're gonna get an accurate Kinnikuman anime either. Kinnikuman Issei is darker, better drawn and written, and more perverted than Kinko Part One. Can you give more details? It's the same for 2011 personal account. Oh, the thing is, it's better written in terms of consistency and when it comes to lore, because in Part One, like there will be times where a character dies and then all of a sudden like Pentagon, what are you? Pentagon and Black Hole, you two were supposed to be dead. Like, what are you doing in this arc? And there's a lot of like really weird BS stuff that happens in Kinnikuman that makes no sense. Um, because there's a lot of inconsistency when it comes to flying. Because like, well, can Kinnikuman characters fly or can't? They cannot fly except when they can. um, the problem with Nisei is that what Ultimate Muscle is that I think part one is still better because it just has all the better characters, and it just like there's more stuff going on. Part two is mainly the Kid Muscle and Kevin Mask series. That's what part two is about, and all the other side characters not really creative. Um, it's darker because like they go on full on satanic compared to part one because I don't want to spoil it because like I would just have to make a video of Ashura Man to explain why Kinnikuman Man Part 2 is so dark. But there's a lot of raunchy humor. There's a lot of like city hunter erections. There's a lot of like nudity, and that's not in Part 1. It's just like very raunchy. Um, a lot of perverted, a lot of pervy jokes that you would find in today's anime. Basically, those jokes were not allowed in Part 1. Um, a lot of it's very sexual in nature. They're like, or at least like lewd, something like that. A lot of dirty magazines, a lot of like TNAs. Like you'll see nudity in this one. You see a lot of like topless girls, like some asses, like Montaro and his erections, and a couple other characters like that too. There's a lot of like shit also, especially against like Wash Ass, aka Hollywood Bull. Like that fight is like a very shitty fight all the way, all the way. It's also darker because there's a lot of like realistic context for some characters, like Broken Junior, aka Brocken Junior, is like becomes like an alcoholic. You can look at my Ultimate Muscle review on the other channel. Just look Ultimate Muscle anime manga review. You will see some of the darker stuff in that. Because we also get Kinkotsu Man who's been rewritten to be like this abusive father. So like he was like abusing his kid, just punching him and hitting him, and then his son ended up becoming a bad guy because of that. Um, like Warsman is like vicious in Ultimate Muscle because the way he's training Kevin Mass, like, well, I'm gonna race you like in honor of your father. Like you gotta like kill these things or brutally maim them in order to win. It's like this is like uncomfortable dark undertone, especially in the final arc with the Demon Seed arc. Because you get like these chojin that are like they're saying like "Hail Satan," and that's not something you got in the first part either, even though they were demonic. Um, because the final scene in Ultimate Muscle is this giant statue of Akaba Shogun, and inside it are the corpses of a bunch of superheroes, and all these superhero corpses make this humongous pillar that's in the shape of a beating heart. So and then you got like these soul. This is where it gets very beautiful, but very depressing too, because like they're still alive. They still have like their souls are still residing in that pillar, and even though they're like their bodies are unusable, they still use whatever they can of their like dead flesh to help the heroes either climb up or sustain the ring into place. So it's there's a lot of stuff like that that's like super uncomfortable compared to part one where it was nowhere near that dark because part one there was a lot of violence, but the subject matter in part two is just much more upsetting because because the same thing goes with like with Ashura Man's story about like, well, you find out that he has a son. It's like, well, where is he? Well, it's very dark context there. uh, uh I think I'm gonna end this here because I can't really the cute mascot character gets his body parts removed as part of a satanic ritual. Metal issue. Yeah, that's another example, Maoji Renken, because in the original Kinnikuman, when the mascot character is called Meat, so when Buffalo Man smacks into him, his body parts fall into pieces, but it's very cartoony. It's like a jigsaw puzzle where you could just reattach them. But in Ultimate Muscle in the manga, when that thing happens again, it's a straight up like dismemberment. They just grab his body parts and just tear him apart limb from limb. So that's an example of like how different the tone is. It's like even though part one still has some violent stuff, like the way Ricochet Man dies by Spring Man, he just gets ripped into pieces. All the Devil Children got their heads decapitated by the Devil Knights. I was like, ooh. Sunshine's like a cursed roller who just sucks in Geronimo's arm and rips it off. I'm like, oh my god. Ah, what is this? Nice banner. Oh, thank you. I don't know what you're seeing. Kikuman. Yeah, I think I came in at a good time, Mr. Junior Hound. Yeah, I want to end this like in 5 minutes because I'm trying to browse through this. We love Nostalgic Network. Will you ever review Fist and North Star 1995? Uh, I want to because there's One Piece is hex. Yeah, I want to, but I would want to do it on April Fools. If I have time to do it, then I'll do it for April Fools because that's the perfect time to do it. Because there's a few other live action stuff related to Fist and North Star that I want to talk about, and I want to surprise everybody with that. It's like this 1995 movie just isn't enough. I gotta talk about more. Some more Fist and North Star. Oy. Final call for questions. I'm reading the last arc of Saint Seiya, Rurouni Kenshin. What do you think of them? I don't know how I feel about the Rurouni Kenshin final arc. I feel like Saint Seiya, that was like the perfect way to end it because now you're going into like both heaven and hell. Like that's the biggest stakes in a series once you start fighting the characters from hell and heaven, because that's what's going on in Kinnikuman. We're fighting the gods of the Choshin of the Chojin world. Um, I do like the way Saint Seiya ends, especially for Seiya's character, with the Elysium and stuff like that, and Hades. But I don't remember everything that happens in Hades because I need to go back and finish that because I only watched that arc once. I feel some fans overrate the Jinchu arc, to be honest. Yeah, I don't remember too much about the Jinchu arc because I know the best part of it is like the trust and betrayal section of the OVA when Kenshin and like how he got his cross shaped scar. That's the best part of that arc. That and when Kenshin is like brooding hell, and then Shishio like comes from hell and tells him to get up. So it's like, oh shit, that's a big deal. Because I don't remember like how the I know who the villain is, but I don't know. I don't remember like if he really played a big part. But at the same time, there is a nice theme. Is that I'm back for revenge. You did this to my kin, and like the main character has to go through with it. Because again, Vinland Saga comes into play because that's what happens in Vinland Saga too. They're like all these years ago, you ruined my life. You need to atone for this crime. It's like I think Kent's just like, well, I gotta agree with this, but because he is put in like a dangerous situation. Because I'm I feel like I need to atone, but I just found this new life now. I want to live now, that kind of stuff. But I don't remember like if how all the fights went down, or there were supposed to be more fights, right? I guess I don't remember how it goes. Because I want to say Sanosuke and Hajime Saito fought people, but I don't remember. I know there's like um the stuff with Kaoru, like they did like they pull back on it, and like it wasn't a permanent decision what they did. Uh, where can I watch Kinnikuman Nostalgic Network? Yeah, the Kinnikuman. I said this earlier. Oh yeah, I was gonna talk about One Piece too. I forgot about that. But when a Kinnikuman, you would have to look at Any Wave and Yugen Anime. Those are the places. Yugen Anime and Any Wave, and I guess some torrent sites if you can find it. You have to look at websites, but Yugen Anime and Any Wave are the best places to look at the moment. I never saw that at the Poseidon art. That too was like 15 years so, but I don't remember anything. Oh yeah, no, that part is great. The OVA, if Kid, Devilman, Ken, Jotaro, and Momo. I already watched most of the reviews. Oh, okay. Every Kinnikuman Nisei sounds like improvements, and then Kinnikuman to them too much spotlight. I'm gonna scramble for the throne. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Because Nisei has a more of a stronger narrative in terms of like, in the beginning of Kinnikuman, when Kinnikuman is a loser, then it becomes a good hero. That's what the entire thing of Ultimate Muscle really is. It's really good at rewriting the villains and all the older characters into the more like serious ones, like the Ninja, Brocken Jr., Sunshine, Teen Kotsuman, like all that stuff is like really good the way they rewrite them. So it just feels like a much more like drama than anything. But what I don't like about it is that it doesn't really have that same zaniness as the original series. Like all the other side characters just aren't as interesting compared to like Kid and Kevin Mass. Like Kevin Mass is just way too fucking cool. Like who would have thought? Just put a jacket on Robin Mask. It's like that's all you need to do. It's like, oh, he's cooler now. Like we give him a new armor, we give him a motorcycle. He's all cooler. Why is Kevin Mask so edge cool? But yeah, because the other manga, the Kinnikuman Nisei tag, is not finished. There's so incomplete chapters. I don't know. I've been tempted to read it even though it's incomplete, just so I could like get an idea of what happens with Chaos and Neptune Man. I don't know if there's anything else that I missed out on. Uh, yeah, the beam that he uses against Souther is the Tenha Kasatsu, the Heaven's Impalement. Could he do a beam struggle like EBC character discussing more seriously? LOL. Yeah, I don't know. Because I really don't know like how strong. Because I think at the end of the day, Dragon Ball characters are still stronger than Ken. But I do feel like Kensho still has like a chance to like a certain degree. Because I don't know if Muso Tensei can Muso Tensei kill a Super Saiyan? Like, because that's also another curious question. Like, well, what happens when Muso Tensei reacts with a regular person? Do they just like bleed out? Like, does that just kill them like instantaneously? Like, because we only seen like Muso Tensei versus Muso Tensei. So, like, there was a lot of like uncertainties, and I don't know how to put it. That's kind of the reason why JoJo to me doesn't work in Death Battle, because almost every JoJo fight is dependent on the environment. Like almost every fight depends on what is there, what little objects can the characters grab that can help them win the fight, or where they're fighting. Because like in JoJo's cases, like even the villains have that advantage. Like with Dio, he grabs the knives because he stops time so he can throw it at Jotaro and keep himself at a safe distance. Yoshikage Kira grabs the stray cat and puts it inside his own stand. Like, what is it? What kind of cheap rule is that? And then even in the beginning of Phantom Blood, when Jonathan's fighting Dio in the burning house, like, well, the house is on fire. That's what defeats Dio. But also because that Jonathan, he uses a spear, he gets stabbed in the shoulder, and then that same spear tip helps him. It helps him save his life along with his own belt, so he can get out of the fire. And then he dumps Dio on top of a statue that was in his house. All that makes him win the fight. Like, it depended on the environment and what he had at his disposal. Josuke also depends, like, what does he rebuild? Like, what's in there nearby that he can, like, rebuild and all that stuff. The final fight against Pucci in Stone Ocean. Well, it's a good thing that Emporio had, like, that ghost gun, and that Kiss's bullets can, I guess, put it on the bullet itself, and that way they can move at super speed. A lot of little things, like, and when it comes to JoJo, that determines that fight. Yeah, I don't know. There's a bunch. Inishi the is literally jump reverse flash. He wants Kenshin to suffer, not die. I feel Kenshin is a sort of equivalent of Hokuto no Ken with Twinkie art style in 19th century setting. Yeah, I know it's a very big shonen because I was actually surprised how so much similarities Kenshin has with Kenshiro. Because it barely occurred to me when I saw them in J Stars and they have a bunch of dialogue with each other. I was like, wait a minute, they are similar. I was like, oh, I never thought about that. Admittedly, Kenshin isn't, like, physically manly looking, but he does have, like, he's a samurai, so that already has, like, some manly things. Like, Seijiro Hiko is obviously, like, the manliest dude of the show. Is like, yeah, like, with this spawn cape. Yeah, okay, I already answered that. Yeah, I will take one more question or so. Because after this, I'm getting out of here. I need to drink some water and maybe eat something, and then end the night. Because it's gonna be 2 in the morning on my end. So for you guys, it's probably gonna be like 3 in the morning. Actually, you know what? No, I'm just gonna end it right now. Yeah. So thank you for stopping by. I'm gonna, like, go and check. Uh, Gas mask. Sorry, man. I'm about to leave already. It's gonna be 3 hours of streaming. My throat is already hurting. You're gonna have to, like, catch the replays. Yeah. Like, sorry that the streams are always abrupt, but that's just the time that I have available. Yeah, sorry. I'm gonna end this. I'm not sure what the next video will be because at the moment my laptop is in repair. I need to get. I might end up getting a new thing actually. So yeah, I'll try to be able to type stuff on a different equipment. Hopefully. Yeah. Right. Good night. Thank you for coming. Let's see. How do I end this stream now? I think I put because they changed the layout of this thing already. I think it's the X button. I hope so. Night. Yeah, there it is. I'm gonna stop streaming now. Good night, everybody.